ready. Oh, sorry.
Talk shit.
Recorded live.
Welcome to the Lost Slowdown, podcast number 83, with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What is up, guys?
What isn't up? Jeez. Well, the end of Lost is up. It's finally here. And, Justin, it's hot off the presses for you. I'm just finishing watching it a couple minutes ago. So,
yeah.
I think the rest of us have a little time to digest it.
Lucky you guys. It's not digesting easily.
All right, so just 100 words or less. What do you think? Go.
I don't even know. I don't know what I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
I was so confused. Like, I got it, and then I was like, but what is that supposed to mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to think about that. That was not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, I figured they'd do something unexpected, and that was right. I didn't expect this.
No, I didn't either.
I think overall, so far my reaction is I felt like I felt at the end of Mother May I. I mean, Across the Sea.
Yeah, that was the alternate title.
Mother Goose Story. Yeah, it was like I liked the story. I was not happy with the answers. You know, the same sort of general reaction of that of like I'm not quite satisfied. You know, but obviously I definitely have to see it again.
Seriously,
and,
were there answers?
Well, sure. I guess it depends on your definition of answer, but
okay.
I mean, in terms of what the whole, the big answer I think at the end is, they explain the flash sideways.
Okay, that's an answer. Sure.
So that's an answer, and basically, for lack of a better term, they just basically said it was a form of purgatory. This sort of waiting period.
They did do that.
Yeah, it's a waiting period before they can move on.
Purgatory.
It's like purgatory. That was what people thought the island was in season 1, and it's like, okay, that was kind of right, except it was going to be this alternate reality was the purgatory, not actually the island.
But I still don't understand. Like, okay, that's what the flash sideways are. So what happened?
Yeah, see, I think one of the big things that got left out of the shuffle was of actually talking to Jacob and meeting Jacob and explaining the candidates and transferring of power is what was up with Jughead and the incident, and what role did that play in any of this?
Yeah.
It's one thing to have, the bomb go off in the 70s, but it did make them, time travel to the future where, they were there in the nick of time to sort of be candidates and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that I think I definitely thought we would get some answer to, or at least I'd wanted an answer for. Was that part of it? Did that need to happen? I guess I don't even know for sure if the flash sideways was predicated on Jughead going off.
It's not clear that it was at all, and they never made clear like what the connection was. Like they show Locke about to stab Jack, and he gets the thing in his neck. And but then it's like, so what? So, like, later on, in Purgatory, he has a corresponding cut that reappears. Like, I don't understand. Like that. What? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, the crossover. Like, I think we've been talking about the flash sideways, connecting to the on island story, and instead of it sort of meshing and connecting, the flash sideways goes to a new direction. It goes wherever the light led to, in the church. And I think that was a little bit disappointing for me, too, is, having the big scene in the church and the sort of, obvious Christian religious context.
Yes,
of like, I was just glad we didn't see a statue of Jesus at the front of the pulpit, and, like, the light coming from that. The light came from the back of the church instead,
Yeah. Yeah. So it was not over the top by like half a step.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like, Christian was there, but he, he did really die. So, like, at what point did he get back to whatever version of he wasn't even an apparition. He was real as anything else. And why did he even know anything? And, yeah, a lot of questions. So many questions.
Okay, let me... one of the things that really surprised me was how quickly they defeated Locke.
Mm-hmm.
Like... Well, he was dead. It was about seemingly half an hour. It didn't even seem that long into the thing.
Well, they had a good twist. Yeah, it was a good plot twist that he didn't see coming was apparently Desmond. So this is what I think happened with Desmond is when Locke went down there, he took some of the light or something like that. The light was noticeably dimmer than when we first saw it with Mother and all that. So it seemed like when Desmond went down there, he moved that little stone thing, column thing, and that sort of extinguished the light completely. And that seemed to have, made Locke mortal. And I think that was a twist Locke didn't know was that he pulled the plug. He pulled the plug on Locke's immortality or whatever. And so that made so when Jack
is that what happened?
because that's the thing. Right after Desmond did that, don't throw up. Right after Desmond did that, Jack jumps on Locke, and then Locke is bleeding, and so that's the cue that now he's mortal. So I thought that was cool because how do you defeat a smoke monster? Well, you can't if you don't make him mortal. So
yeah, but he never even turned into Smokey again.
He could. I don't think he could.
I
think it was like it was.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it was like he was only a smoke monster. It was almost like the donkey wheel. Like they were flashing through season 5 because the donkey wheel wasn't turned correctly.
Right.
And it's like he was only a smoke monster because the light wasn't fully extinguished, or he had some of it, or didn't have, whatever his interaction with it was, which they never really explained in detail.
Yeah.
That happened, and that sort of put him in this, in a state that wasn't permanent, Desmond does what he does, and then Smokey can't be Smoke anymore.
Right.
And he should stuck as John Locke.
Okay.
Which is basically what Jack, that's what Jack was, I think, betting on, was something like that would happen.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, the whole end was definitely not, it did not go as I thought it would, of like, hey, let's just all go to the thing together, and I'll just kill you somehow when I get there.
Right, yeah, that made it strange. They teamed up to do the same thing, and it was like, I think this is going to do this, and you think this is going to do that, and we're just going to watch and wait.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a weird battle.
Man, they fixed up that plane, huh? I guess the whole time I'm thinking, okay, they got to use the plane because they might use it since they keep talking about it. But how are they going to fly it with that window? And okay, well they just fix it.
Yeah, they fixed
he had a blowtorch
window. Yeah, that was
the duct tape line was great. I love that. That was a great Miles line. I don't believe in much, but I believe in duct tape. Duct tape won't let you down.
I kept being sure that Locke would come back, and like when the plane was taking off, I was like, Smokey's gonna fly in, and like it's gonna be a plane versus smoke monster battle.
And then the smoke gets sucked into the engine, into the jets.
Yes, that's what I was expecting, but yeah, they just fucking took off, and I guess so. Okay, let me try to put it together. So they had all these adventures on the island, and some of them, I guess, get off. A bunch of them do. I guess Jack is still there, and Hurley is the new Jacob or something, and Ben's there, and Desmond's there still, I guess. And they just go on about their business or something, and everyone else leaves the island, and then someday they die, and for whatever reason they arranged a meeting place, and that's the Flash Sideways.
So basically, what I gather is that for some reason they all needed each other. They all sort of, I guess, subconsciously created this alternate reality as a way for them to all let each other know that they can let go. Like, it's almost like, the same way Michael and those guys are trapped on the island. It's like the Losties were sort of trapped, I guess potentially trapped in this other place or something like that. And so once they all died, sort of outside of time, it's so funny the Bajoran prophets come into this again. These people this sort of
they
world
just pop
that
up everywhere.
Yeah, this world that exists outside of time. It's like, what is time? Well, here it doesn't matter. And and so they needed each other to connect to each other and I guess make peace with maybe just the idea that their time on the island or their past life was worth it, or reconcile it somehow, because that was interesting when some of them started realizing, they started getting memories past the point that they died.
Right.
When Sun and Jin were having the flashbacks, I'm like, oh no, they're getting close. Now they're on the sub, and now they remember dying, and so it's like, and to have a baby in your womb and you remember dying, it's like, I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I think to me it's like I don't really mind the big picture except for it's just the little connecting pieces of like, why did they need the alternate timeline?
Right.
Besides
why
just the explanation.
Like that? Why was it this whole thing about they have to go through these experiences to realize what's going on, and Desmond had to do it for some reason, and I still don't even understand what's going on with Desmond, and
Yeah, it's almost like other people in that reality can leave when they choose, when they want to. Ben is still outside, unsure he wants to go to the next level.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought maybe they would end it a little more ambiguously, like when they walk through the door, they sort of make us think, maybe it's giving them a second chance on the island or something, or maybe it's taking them somewhere else. But they didn't really. I guess they left it just vague completely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally vague.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
But okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the story is supposed to be.
Mhm.
Well,
did you watch the recap?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch the recap.
Well, you got to watch the recap, but the recap starts, and this is what Jacob says too. In the last episode, was that it's the show is about people who are alone, who are trying to find something that they can't find.
Yeah.
And so I think if you look at it like that as the starting point for these characters, then the end point is they all sort of find each other.
Right.
Is that satisfying? I don't know. It's up to the viewer to decide.
Well, so I think we proved your theory that the incantation did not matter.
Yeah, I totally proved that.
That was confirmed. That was what I needed to see to believe that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, Jack, you're going to incantate.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got? And he was just like, whatever, drink some water.
Yeah, I think it just mattered that you know what I think it is? I think it had more to do with the touching, and I think it had more to do with the same thing with Dogen trying to make Sayid take the pill. It was like you had to sort of do this test of will or test of trust for the other person or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it may have something to do with that. Like, okay, here, you drink this, and then of course you're drinking it because you want to, or you're drinking it because you trust that person or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they touch you, and then you're fine.
Right. Right. And so, like, did I catch this right? Richard's growing old now? Did they really do that?
So now I think now that Jacob's dead, or at least I don't know if it's because Jacob's dead or because the light is out. I would say it's probably because Jacob's dead. That or the light went out. That he can age now.
I have to say. Anti-RIP, Richard and Frank, they were both alive. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, that Frank had to fly that plane, so I was holding out hope for Frank.
Yeah.
Also not so frank.
That was a good reason to hold on, but God, I thought Richard was dead too, and they just go over there. No, there he is, lying down.
Yeah.
He Me too. I can't believe he's leaving the island.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, they did dispense with Locke pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted more out of him.
Did you guys see that when Jack first comes to fight Locke, and he runs and jumps right before the commercial break, and he does that flying fist move? But I'm like, wow, we're getting into comic book territory here. Jack is gaining superpowers.
Yeah, that was crazy. That battle.
Yeah, total Superman punch.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting. The fight was interesting. I don't know what to say. There's so much going on.
Okay, so what was all that stuff on the island then? I still don't get it. So
the whole thing about Hurley, sort of being the leader, which is something they talked about earlier in season 6, of trying to get him the leadership role, and
I think you sort of called that too, and that took me by surprise again. I was just like, no way, they're not really doing that.
When you look at Hurley and Ben being sort of the last two on the island, Desmond's there too, but if you just sort of look at Hurley and Ben, it kind of mirrors young Jacob and Boy in Black. The good guy. And another thing I thought about Hurley is he was always against lying, remember?
Right.
And then Jacob, of course, had to think about not being able to tell lies or whatever when he was a kid. So I don't know. I think there was a little symmetry there with Hurley kind of being like Jacob, the good one, and Ben sort of being like the man in black.
Yeah.
As the last two, not opposing forces, but different forces on the island.
Right.
But apparently who work together because he was a great number 2.
That's really what they do. Number 1 is the person themselves. And number 2 is the number 1.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
Yeah, I think Jack could have let Desmond put the plug back
in. I guess that sort of tells me part of what I was trying to get.
What?
Because for a while I was like, okay, so was it all? I guess it's not all fake. It's just somehow we flash way forward to when they're all dead and waiting around in this meeting place.
Yeah, I guess I would say that you don't even really flash forward. It's the context is time is not really relative or something.
Yeah. Okay.
To that, so it's just like it at some point when they're all dead, this is sort of taking place.
Okay, and I guess flash sideways. That's what they call it. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. But it's like everybody's dead. That's what makes you want to say it's later. But. Yeah,
it's weird that it's like that's what people were. That was the main idea from what they were realizing.
Yeah.
Not that our lives don't mean anything here, or we need to go back to the other timeline. It's that we died and we need to let go.
Yeah.
That's just not the show I thought I was watching.
Not at all. And Jack had a son, and it's like, what? Why does he have a son in purgatory? That's weird.
And Claire just gave birth.
Yeah. That's weird too.
Like I said before, that it's I predicated it on Jughead exploding, but it just seemed like the universe or something, whatever's responsible for this meeting place, it was almost just like appeasing them, like just gave them a second chance or gave them an opportunity to just hang out here for a while.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, maybe that's the their prize for suffering on the island or something.
Yeah.
Is they got to stay in this artificial version of a nicer reality, I guess, for the most part.
Right. Right. So I guess, I mean, I guess we are supposed to believe that I don't know. God, I'm still totally confused. Are we still supposed to think that either the light going out kills everyone, or when Smokey gets off the island, it kills everyone? I almost feel like, once Smokey's mortal again, Can't he just leave then? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he didn't have to like fight with Jack and stuff, try to kill everybody. Like,
oh yeah, I think he could have left like anybody else.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, if he wasn't evil, like he could have just left.
I think at the end of the day, he was only as evil as any man is. You know, he wasn't more evil than that. You know, I don't think he was evil incarnate. I think he was just as evil as anyone who would kill someone for their own personal gain. You know,
yeah.
I just think like he sort of just got that moniker as evil incarnate, but he really, because he was Black Smoke, but like he really wasn't. You know? I
guess not.
You know, how is he more evil than Ben? You know, or anybody, or Sayid, or, you know, I mean, you know, in a general sense. Obviously, there's specific differences, but
right.
Yeah, I think that's definitely worth noting. I almost feel like you didn't need to protect the island. I mean, it seemed like the light went out. I mean, and I guess when the light was out, the island was about to be destroyed, but, you know, they didn't give us any sense what the outside world was gonna be, how it would be affected.
Yeah, and in Purgatory, there's an island underwater. Like, why? What is that? Like
I almost thought maybe that was Man in Black having destroyed the island long before or something. I don't really know how we're supposed to view that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense anymore. When the island was starting to crumble, I was like, aha, that explains it. But because that didn't finish happening.
The plane at the end when Jack is back at square one, and at the place where he woke up on the island the first time, and he looks up and he sees the plane. That's the Ajira plane that Frank is flying, right? That's not supposed to be the original Oceanic or one of the A-15s or anything, right?
No, that's the Ajira plane.
That's the Ajira plane. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I didn't really see it, but that would be the one that makes sense.
Yeah.
They were mirroring the shot from the pilot.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were trying to tell us, okay, now he's back to the beginning, or this is the Flash Sideways universe, and he's seeing that plane not crash.
Oh no!
You know, something weird like that. But I think it was their Ajira plane.
Yeah, I think he just died. He's about to die, and he lays in the same place that he woke up on, and he sees a lot of his friends like leaving the island in the air, and Vincent's there, and then he closes his eye, and I think it's symmetrical with the pilot, but it's not from that time.
So wait, what did Desmond do?
I don't know. Desmond just went down there and kind of got in there and unplugged the plug, and then was like, I don't know what happened. And then it was like, okay, put the plug back in, and then Desmond just sat around for the rest of the time. I don't know what the point of that was. Yeah,
that was strange.
Very strange. Very, very strange. He was the fail-safe. Something was supposed to happen. I don't understand why nothing crazy happened.
Maybe Desmond was the only one who could take it off.
Yeah. Okay.
And anyone, no one else could have taken it off, but Jack was able to put it back on.
Okay. And they needed to take it off so they could. What? The only thing, as far as I can tell, that allowed them to do was, kill Man in Black. And, I mean, I guess, he was sort of a threatening presence, but I don't know. It's not clear that they needed to do that.
Yeah. It's not clear they need to kill Men in Black?
It's not clear they needed to unpull the plug.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a pretty big reveal that the plug had Egyptian stuff on it.
Oh, did it?
So the central mystery of the island still goes back to the Egyptians.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Bring them back in. Why not?
Yeah, they're still there. And that's the thing, like, that's why I didn't buy Mother's explanation of what was going on, because I just felt like, how does she know? I don't think she's been down there. She said that, if you go down there, it's worse than dying or whatever. It's like, I can't trust you just because you say it,
It looked weird because, like, when he floated Man in Black down there, I sort of thought it was just you go to the end of the cave, but it was like there was a lot more going on down there than I imagined. And, like, did he actually, like, flop over the waterfall and then, like, go into the pool where the plug was or something? Is that supposed to be what happened?
So when he fell down there, yeah, it's kind of weird it's kind of weird. I guess what I'm imagining is so where Jack ended up. So after Jack put the plug back, he was kind of just sitting on the edge of that like circle area around the plug, and then as the water filled up, he ends up getting flushed out, the back of the cave, where the exit of the cave is, just the same way Man in Black's body got flushed out. So I'm assuming, basically when Jacob threw Man in Black down there unconscious, he sort of, went over that cliff that they lowered Desmond down, and, the rushing of the water kept, made him go further, and, like, maybe he hit the plug and hit it a little bit, and then that made him turn into Smokey.
Okay.
Yes, he got flushed.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, the closest analogy I can think of is like the donkey wheel. It's like, for some reason, whatever happened wasn't complete. Like maybe it would have just killed him, but since some of the light was still burning, it just made him in this purgatory-ish smoke monster. Can I? Is it too late? Too soon to use that? Can I draw an analogy to Smoke Monster in Purgatory?
Why not?
And I gotta say, he probably was happy to be killed in a small way, because that's some form of freedom.
Oh yeah.
Like he at least to change his existence.
Yeah, sure. But it was just like, God, after all that business this season, like he didn't even get a serious shot at leaving the island. He was just killed, like, before.
He wanted the power. He wanted to destroy the island. Now, if he would have just gone to the plane, maybe it would have been a different story. But it's really a tale of hubris.
Yeah.
As all great stories are, right?
All long ones, at least.
It's like I think we're talking about the last hour. I don't know the first hour.
Did anything happen in the first hour? It was all
a lot of stuff.
A lot of setup and stuff. I remember, I almost wish they'd gone with my concert party ending.
I couldn't believe they actually had some of Drive Shaft playing with Dan. It did not sound great.
It was bad. It was really bad. Sorry, Dan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure your piano's okay.
It was a little too experimental.
It was ridiculous. It was, I don't know.
Yeah.
They didn't even do like a You All Everybody remix or something like that. Just like some whatever song. And then they'd stop and, ooh, piano.
Yeah, what is Miss Hawkins' role in all this? I guess she was just someone who knew, but I guess like Christian, she knew what was going on. She knew they were dead, and she was just enjoying the party planning. Yes, that's exactly right.
Totally
a watcher.
I'm just digging the party planning.
Hey, if I can party plan while they wait to realize they're all dead, I am peachy keen.
Yeah, it's like she's trying to determine when they're all ready or something.
Yeah. I do like the idea that, if you're dead, you don't have to wait for your friends to die. Like, death is outside of time, so you'll sort of just all be there already.
Oh, is that supposed to be the idea?
Yeah. Like, like the Flash Sideways, I think it was just, for all intents and purposes, it was just happening, sort of not in relation to any other timeline. So it was like, they didn't have to wait for anybody to die for them to show up there. They were just all there already from the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
So once they're all ready to go, they can all go. They don't have to. It's a other idea from Purgatory or something where the dead people are waiting for the living to join them. They're waiting. If your grandfather dies and it's 100 years before you die, then it's like he's got to wait 100 years to see you. Versus them, it's like it's instantaneous. Everyone dies at some point, so they're already there.
I see.
I was half hoping when Claire gave birth to Aaron in the Flash Sideways, it was going to be the Man in Black baby.
Oh God.
It was because Locke had died, and I'm just thinking like, oh man, it'd be so great if somehow his soul gets transferred over.
For half a bizarre second, I thought when Locke woke up after the surgery, he was going to be the Man in Black.
I thought that too. Yeah.
Like, oh shit, it's going to be like the Matrix, but it really wasn't.
No, not so much.
Hello, Jack. Thanks for fixing my spine.
And I'm going to kick your ass with my new legs. Yeah, this isn't the ending I could have predicted, of course, but they ended on characters which they should have. That's their big thing.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of those like swelling music moments. With usually with two characters or three characters that had some big history and they'd all remember stuff, and I mean that stuff wasn't bad.
Juliet was great. It's great to see her again.
Yeah, Juliet was the mother of a purgatory baby. I don't know what that means.
Well, it means God loves her.
Like, how do you make babies in purgatory? Like, who is David then? Like, that's just weird. He's like something that doesn't exist except in this fake. Oh God, what the fuck? What are they doing?
Well, I feel like they all did live those lives, so David was real. He was just real in that world. He just didn't have a corollary in the other timeline.
Weird? Like in their after death waiting place, they can have like after death children.
Maybe it was a soul he adopted. Maybe there's an adoption service for
okay. Okay. Fine.
For purgatory children.
Whatever. I'll take it. I don't know. Stuff like that made me sure that. Well, yeah. It wasn't the kind of epilogue I thought they'd do for a while, which was they proceed from the island straight to this. But I didn't think they were dead.
No.
So that part was weird.
Well, yeah, I guess it was like, well, how can Jack and Christian get to talk again unless they show Christian as a ghost? Well, they're all ghosts.
Yeah. When I was getting the point like before. It was pretty early in the episode where I started thinking something like that was going on. Because they started dropping the major hints.
Yeah.
And by the time he opens up the coffin and Christian's, I'm like, oh man, they're so dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I immediately thought that.
I
was like, they're not going to show this if they're not dead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little they're dead. I just have to digest that.
Yeah, Jack, I guess maybe that was the thing that Jack was supposed to do.
What?
Wild guess. I don't know. One of the things that he did.
One of the things that he did was what he was supposed to do?
Was the thing, yeah.
Okay, well, that's probably right.
You know, the thing from Lighthouse.
Yeah.
I'm just, as opposed to just becoming Jacob, since he didn't really keep the job for more than, I don't know, a few hours, apparently.
Yeah, well, he killed Man in Black, and he put the light back.
Yeah,
so those are two big things.
So one of those things, presumably he had to do.
Yeah. I don't even know if Jacob knew what he had to do.
Yeah, I don't either. Because I started thinking about that whole thing from Abaturno, like, oh, Ricardus will know what to do next. Like, he never knew what to do next.
He didn't have any clue.
He was lost for most of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am. I keep showing up late. I got nothing going on. I have no ideas. Just take me home, please.
I don't know what Locke was thinking. What did Locke think Desmond was going to do for him? Like, oh, Jacob had Desmond come back to the island as a failsafe to stop me, but I think he can be used, to destroy the island. So I'm just going to let him go down there.
Yeah,
that was a little weird. I think
that is weird
because he didn't really know what Desmond was going to do, and it didn't work. So.
Right. Well, it looks like it would have worked if they hadn't put the plug back in.
Mhm.
So, if he could have stopped the rest of them from plugging the hole.
Yeah.
Then
he would have killed himself though, because he was mortal at that point, and if he, it would have had a hard time getting to the plane like the rest of them did.
Oh, he probably would have just died. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the island could have been destroyed.
Yeah.
And it would have been worth it.
Yeah, where are Zach and Emma and
oh shit.
And
they
Cindy?
Never appeared again. Wow. I thought we'd see him in this episode. Kind of forgot about him.
So I think I saw the scene that would have been the shootout on the Outriggers when was it Miles and Richard?
Yes.
Are on the Outrigger and they get Frank on there?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the point that they would have kept swimming and or rowing and came up to the other Losties.
Oh, okay.
Who flashed there?
Okay.
That's what it looked like to me. They were setting up, and then of course they didn't continue with it.
Right.
But it was like 3 people in an outrigger coming from like the beach area or something.
I had exactly the same thought when I saw that. I was like, yeah, it would be really weird if they suddenly started shooting at people, but I could, it fits. It's the right number of people on an outrigger at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the closest we got to that point again.
And only one of them is over on the other boat.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still kind of bad, but yeah, that whole fucking outrigger thing. Oh man. I don't know what happened exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yikes. Man, so much to think about.
Yeah, it is kind of a lot. It's hard to, I don't know. I was wondering how.
Are we recording this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just thought, hold on. Forgot I'm not using Pro, so I can't see the counter.
You're not using Pro?
No.
Oh, wow.
I think Pro's having problems. People seem to get kicked out.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's working for me.
Yeah, maybe Zach and Emma did die.
Yeah, possibly. Wow, never seen or heard from again.
Yeah, they really, I think, the last, several episodes of this season, they were skimping on answers pretty, increasingly, I think.
I'm wondering, are we supposed to think that all of Widmore's men were dead? Besides Zoe?
Yeah, who would be left?
I mean, they had a bunch of people as a tree line, like, shooting at them in the submarine. Like, there was more.
Yeah, I think Locke killed all those people.
Oh, Locke just killed them all? Okay. So
yeah.
I guess we never actually found out who killed the Ajir passengers either.
No.
They just didn't tell us. Somebody killed them. Thank you, folks. Go home now.
Yeah, it's up to you to decide who killed them. It's choose your own murderer book.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to think. Yeah, no, it definitely.
I say whoever killed them is the person who lied about it the most. So
okay.
I don't know who that is, but
I don't either.
Because I was rewatching some of season 6, and you see those lines with Locke telling people stuff, and it's just like, you're so lying. Mm-hmm. You don't want them to come. You don't want. All you want is for you to come with me, and all that stuff. It's like, no, you're lying. I thought you were being honest, but you're just lying.
Yeah. He does a lot of that.
Yeah, Desmond seemed almost ineffectual towards the end. I don't know. I thought something big was going to happen with him, and it was just like, I don't know, brother. I did it. It didn't work.
I know. He was just like, ugh.
And Jack's just like, go home to your wife and kids. And he's like, whatever.
I don't even think he is. I mean, he didn't get on the plane.
He didn't get on the plane.
He's going to have to find some other way to get off the island if he wants
to go
home.
Somebody in the chat said maybe he turned the donkey wheel.
Oh, okay. Well, fine.
I put you into Tunisia, though, so that's just not a great exit.
It's really not. It's not where I'd prefer to leave.
Yeah, they didn't get any more specific with the light.
No.
In terms of what it was. My crackpot theory earlier was that the island was some sort of vessel, and when Desmond moves the plug and you hear it sort of power down,
mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh no, the ship is powering down. That was the power source, and now we'll see what the island really is, or the illusion the veil will be lifted or something,
Yeah.
But no, I was wrong.
Yeah, it's like there was definitely something on that island. I'm sure of that. If there's one answer I got from this episode,
something was there.
There was something there on that island.
And it looked like light.
And it looked very, very much like light.
Yeah. The transformation of Smokey is a little dubious, I think. I don't know,
They never showed it.
Yeah, well, okay, I just meant how he became Smokey. But yeah, like actually turning into Smokey, they never showed.
Yeah, I just realized, I kept expecting to see that when there were those battles going on. I thought he'd just, degenerate into smoke and start kicking everybody's ass, but he didn't do that either.
No.
And Locke was dead.
Yeah.
Locke did really not come back to life.
Locke was done for.
Yeah, he died a long time ago. And Jack gives him. They really did do the surgery that day. Couldn't believe they did that. All right, you want the surgery? I'll schedule you for 10 minutes from now.
Well, I think what's weird is he was supposed to go to the concert, and then I guess the surgery came up, and so he's like, okay, well, I guess I got to do the surgery.
Yeah.
And Juliet gets called back to the hospital, but I guess that's only to meet Sawyer.
Yes.
It was cool to see their little scene, and he got to actually, say, sort of, they got to finish their conversation from when she died.
Yes.
And so that was rewarding, and that was interesting.
Yeah. No, that was good. I mean, I liked a lot of the stuff where they were talking to each other. I mean, I thought that was good. It's just then it's over, and it's okay, wait, I don't know anything.
Mhm.
That was all well and good, but I don't understand. What have we been watching? Because it just took a turn, and it became about something else.
Yeah, totally.
It was
looks like some people are leaving. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, okay.
It is pretty late.
Indeed, it is.
It's about the big picture, Justin. I just thought I'd mention that.
Oh, okay. That's a good comment. I'm impressed.
Yeah, big picture.
I'm impressed. Yeah, no, I understand that, and I'm a big picture person, and yet I don't even think I know what the big picture is.
Mhm.
That's. I think
you're
that's
not thinking
why,
big enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Think bigger.
It has to get so big. I just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about.
That little line when Jack or her, I forgot who said it. They're like, yeah, Jacob, he did that way, whatever. that's crap. Let's do something else. Like, it's...
Oh, he said no one can leave the island, and then I think it was Ben who was saying that, and he was saying that was Jacob's rules or something. That was Jacob's way of doing it. Maybe there's a better way.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
It was interesting, considering Ben, and I'm thinking, is this the end for Ben, or is he really playing a game here? Like he's going to try to manipulate Hurley, I'll give you some help, Hurley. I got some ways we can do this, But I guess the story is he really did help him.
Yeah.
And he was fine being number 2.
Oh, I guess you're right. We actually can know that.
Yeah, that's his arc, He was afraid of losing power, which is why he let Alex die. Yeah. And he was upset about that, and then he comes full circle, and he's able to be not, number 2.
Yeah.
So that's the story.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it sort of played like a flash forward. Like that, little things like that. It was because it reminded me of when like Hurley was like, "Sorry, I went with Locke," and it's you don't know what happened, and just sort of taking you to the end point of something you never get to see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess they are telling us a little bit about the story that happens after that. Yeah. See, once I watch this again, maybe it'll make more sense to me.
Yeah, they give you little hints about what happened, because basically at the end, I guess they all realize that they have all the memories from the previous time, and which not even the previous timeline, really their former lives, I guess we could say at this point, and yeah, so that's so they remember themselves dying, and I guess what happens at the end. Yeah. Yeah. I guess we still don't know what happens to, Michael and those guys who are trapped on the island. Maybe they, are they still trapped, or have they moved on, or were they waiting for the Losties to move on, or? Yeah. Yeah, that part's still confusing. Because, there's also this sort of island purgatory, which is different, where you whisper all the time. What do you think about the Sayid and Shannon thing? Oh, yeah, so they did that. It was fine. It was okay. If they had to connect him. And they did that, they connected the Losty characters. They didn't really bring in the flashback characters. Yeah. So, like Helen wasn't anywhere to be found. And wow, Locke left without Helen? It looks like it. Wow. Sorry, Helen. She's just going to wake up and her husband's going to be gone. Her fiance's just missing. Yeah, that's one thing we don't know is what happens to this world for the people who stay behind. Are these, they're just they're just gone. Like David's gonna be like, my dad is just gone. My dad, who I love more than anyone else, and my mom, I guess. His parents just left him. And what's he gonna do? Like growing up and as a purgatory boy? Like I don't understand. Oh. 2007 to 2015, I was a purgatory boy. It's on his resume. Yeah, he can go live with his grandmother. You can't leave that off. That's straight to the top with that resume. That's what's strange is I didn't think, I thought maybe the Flash Sideways world would, be over by the end of it, but I didn't think there'd be people who would stay behind. Yeah, so it's like I don't know the implications of the people who are should I say left behind? You should say that. Yeah, I agree. It was weird also because it really felt to me like the weight of the episode was in the Flash Sideways part. It felt like that was carrying more. Yeah, that's the hopeful ending. That's sort of what it became all about. Yeah. Which I think is strange.
It's very strange, and it's almost like watching this whole season of that stuff. Now it's like, oh, I don't know what to do with that now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to take it when it was a prelude to this.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's strange to not get any sort of concrete connection to the main timeline, other than that's just their previous lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and so are they just? Do they get to imagine what they want to happen, or I mean, is there rules? Like, I don't. Should they? I mean, the whole thing about Alex getting into Yale, it's like they're all dead. I don't know. What's the point?
Listen, even if you're dead, going to Yale is going to help you.
You're right. Sorry. This is Yale I'm talking about. I should settle down.
This is Yale, yeah. Even in the afterlife, Yale carries some weight with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really just they put more weight into the Flash Sideways, which maybe just gave them an opportunity to have to do less answers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the island stuff felt very small, and it was just a few little events. I mean, they were major, but, I don't know. I guess I envisioned some kind of mad trek all around the island to every location we'd ever seen, and I don't know.
I wanted, it's like I want them to just do... I want them to connect things better. Like, if they had said or made it clear something like that, at the end of the episode when they're in the church in the Flash Sideways and they open the door and it's all the bright light and, of course, they walk through whatever happens. Like, if that was supposed to be predicated on Jack putting the plug back in, making the light come back on, like sort of these simultaneous actions, like Jack had to defeat Man in Black and then put the light back in for them to even get to where they got to in the Flash Sideways, then they'd be like, okay, well, then I get it that they're connected. It's worth something then. But if it's not connected, then it seems to be less satisfying.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what were the consequences for the Flash Sideways people, whether or not the island was destroyed then or later or ever, Yeah. It's like they were going to die at some point. It didn't really matter. It's almost like they could have all died in season 1, and the Flash Sideways stuff wouldn't have been any different. The sort of, quote, end of the show.
Right.
Sort of wouldn't have been any different, and I don't like that to be true.
Yeah.
That's very close to it being all a dream.
Yeah. I know. That's the disturbing
They're basically
part.
saying it was a dream that mattered. It was a real dream or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, but it's close to being almost not mattering,
Yeah.
But of course it goes back to the character stuff. Like they needed to have those bonding moments, so which created this meeting place. Yet,
yeah,
I still don't understand the point of the meeting place. Why do they need to all get together to decide to move on to the next level?
Yeah. I don't
know. Like I guess they were all alone, and they needed to find each other, but they needed to realize how much they needed each other, and that's what the Flash Sideways was them realizing how important they were to each other.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Am I botching yet?
That has to be the point. I don't know. Yeah, well, okay. What did you think of the Saeed Shannon?
It did look like the Lamppost Church. I don't know what church it was, though.
I thought the same thing. I thought it was going to be some weird thing where they went in the basement and they were like, I don't know.
Here's the island.
Here's where the island is, and I didn't really know where it was going to go after that, but yeah, that's kind of what I expected. But
I thought we were going to get some weird thing with them getting on another plane and then having the Ajira plane on the island go through the barrier or something at the same time that the other plane is flying over something weird like that.
Yeah. What
if Christian in the Flash Sideways, when he appeared to Jack, what if it was really Smokey? What if it was really the Man in Black?
Oh, God.
And instead of taking him to heaven, he took him to hell or something. Like, he just all convinced him, like, no, you know. Follow me. Exactly. Follow me, you bastards.
I just want to help you some more.
I've just been trying to help you all this time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they got him. They definitely needed that scene.
You know, but he didn't tell Jack he had what it took. You know, he didn't say, and maybe that's too corny, but I wanted it. Like him to say, you know, Jack, I always knew you had what it took, or, whatever the line is. I wanted some symmetry with the dialogue, you know, to come back and for him to hear his father say, you have what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But you don't get what you want in Lost.
No, you don't.
And Lucia and Ben and Lalana and all those people, I guess.
Yeah.
Do they even matter? Well, Ben matters. But like, do they matter? I mean, is anyone going to come bring them to the next level, or are they just going to hang out in this purgatory? And it's weird.
Yeah.
What does one snowman say to the other? Looks like you're dripping there. I don't know. Snow melts.
Right. Got it.
Yeah, just FYI, snow melts. Yeah, so what did you say? You're asking about Shannon?
Yeah. I mean, you asked me about that. What did you
Shannon
think about that?
You know, it's interesting. I don't know what to think about it. Nadia was there, but it was almost like they're saying, Shannon was that's the second chance he wanted or something. It's just like, I never got that he and Shannon were that close. They never had time to get super close.
Well, yeah, they barely did. I mean,
yeah, it just seems like they didn't make clear to me what their connection. Like, what does Saeed, of all women he has around him, what does he see in Shannon?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, seriously, I think they were together about a week or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's I have no idea.
Well, a week on the island's like a whole season, so.
Yeah, that's true. But it was a season 1 week, and then like a little bit of season 2.
Yeah,
but I guess for me, just the Nadia relationship was better, and I bought it more, and so it just seemed weird to sort of make that be the one.
He wasn't supposed to have that. He wasn't supposed to have Nadia.
Yeah.
He was supposed to have Shannon.
Supposed to have Shannon. All right, well.
And she died too soon before their romance bloomed. I guess like all the other romances, who really got to live out a romance except, Juliet and Sawyer had a couple years.
Yeah.
Kate and Jack had a couple years. They were rocky.
Very rocky.
Sun and Jim were apart for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think Saeed fits in that example. Is just for that couple, they never really convinced me that they were supposed to be together.
No, me either. They just, I don't know. They didn't have that much. I couldn't imagine a conversation with those two going on for very long.
Before Saeed just pats her on the head.
Yeah, pretty well.
Like, yes, dear, yes.
I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, I just wanted the light to tie in more. I just wanted whatever was going on the island to tie in more to the Flash Sideways.
We'll never know what the light was.
We'll never know.
There's some light on the island, and something happens if it goes out, but we'll never know what that is. And maybe Smokey did something with it. But maybe he could have just left. It's really sad if he could have just left the whole time, and it's like all Jacob's fault for not letting him leave.
Yeah, well, everyone was gonna. Well, yeah, exactly. It's his fault it's his mistake for turning him into Smokey, and then it's his problem.
Yeah.
He was thinking he was protecting everyone.
Yeah.
From because to me what's strange is Smokey never said, and if they had told us this in one of the flashback episodes, I would have been like, okay, well here it is. But he never said, once I get off this island, I'm going to kill everyone.
Right.
Before of course he wanted to say that, but I mean like back in the day, in the early days with him and Jacob,
right.
It's not like he said I want to get off the island and kill everyone. He was just like, I just want to get off the island because I've never been off.
Right.
So it's like, why did Jacob think he was just going to kill everyone if he got off the island, or that his getting off the island would be the end of everything?
Yeah.
I guess maybe at that point that's when he was all about killing people. But
yeah.
But did he ever say he was going to kill everyone when he got off the island?
I don't think so.
It seems like everyone else just assumed that.
The closest we ever got to that was that little thing with him and Widmore, where he said he'd let her live if he told him the thing about Desmond.
Yeah.
Which again, like we talked about, made it sound like he wasn't going to kill everybody.
Mhm.
If he was already, and it basically seemed like he was just saying he was going to go kill Penny because Widmore wasn't helping him out.
Yeah. Oh, well, There will be a lot to discuss in the podcast.
Yeah, we're going to have to hash it out, as it were.
Yeah.
There's a lot of details there that I'm sure that I missed.
Hash it out like hash browns.
It was very exhausting to watch. There was a lot to take in, and just like I kept thinking, really that?
It is not what you want to be thinking.
No, man. When the light in the back of the church door came out, I was like, oh, really, guys?
Yeah. They really. Yeah, the light in the back. Like I said, I was expecting the light to come from the front, and I was just like, please don't let it be a statue of Jesus that is shining light on these people. I just won't be able to take it. No. Like I said, I think it was enough that it was in the church. Yeah. It would have been interesting if it was how that scene would come off if it was somewhere else. Yeah. Even at the airport, it's like them deciding to get on a plane or something, and we don't really know where the plane's going to go, but they go and they open the door to the jetway or something, and then that turns white.
Get the same idea, but less cheesy.
Yeah, I think that would have had a different impression,
Yeah, I don't know why they had to make it so churchy.
They got churchy at the end.
It really did. I don't know. I guess they get a little churchy sometimes, but I just didn't expect the ending of the show to be that.
Yeah.
Bunch of all the characters in the church with a white light behind them as Christian Shepherd leads them to the next life. Really? Oh man. Yeah, that's just wow.
Yeah, Christian leads them to the next life, whatever that is. Maybe this fall on ABC. The White Light World.
Yeah, it's just sort of like I don't know. I don't know what there was the show that I thought I was watching, and then there was this.
Yeah.
It was just really different from what I thought we were, because really for me I haven't been unsatisfied with the show all season.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get to this, and it's like, this is what this.
I think Across the Sea was a portent of what was to come, and I think it was they were saying, okay, well we're gonna go so far, we're gonna go the fantasy route to explain what's going on, and I, like I said on the podcast, I was ambivalent about how I felt about it, because I definitely liked the story, and as far as it was explaining answers, it wasn't satisfying, and I was thinking, well, they got a couple more episodes to go, so maybe they'll get a little more specific, or it'll make more sense in the end. And in the end, it just kept going in that direction and saying, well, This is all we got, is it's light, and there's some sort of purgatory, and so it's like I'm feeling the same disdain I felt in that episode, but it's sort of magnified because it's the final answers of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really upset about it. I'm just kind of confused.
Mhm.
I don't really know what to do.
Oh man, we definitely have to go back to the Blast Star map. I think the clues were right there.
Oh, that's it. That's
of
course.
Because think about it. The Blast Door map, right?
Yeah.
It's a door, right?
Sure.
What did Christian open? Christian opened the door. All right, that's all I'm saying. The Blast Door map, right? You can only see it when the lights go out. What happens when you open the door to the church? There's light there.
Mhm.
What did Smokey do when he went down into what did Locke do when he went down to the cave? He put the light out.
Yes.
Same way as when the lockdown happens.
Yes.
Light goes off.
Yes.
I think the hints were there, guys. I think it was all there. We should have seen this coming in season 2. We really should have.
Yeah. No, seriously. All these years, it was right in front of our faces.
We never got to explain how Locke was able to use telekinesis.
No, they didn't explain that one.
Yeah. I'm just surprised I will always be surprised he just didn't throw Ben in some sort of wrench. Just like, okay, it's sort of miraculous he just happens to have this, but it's so it's like ambivalent, ambiguous. But Mother gave him the power, I guess, but where does she get it from?
Oh, God.
That was the thing. We never got the ultimate answer on the island. We never got to see who was there first. Because obviously, I think the Egyptians predate everybody.
Yeah.
Like that stuff. The light source had Egyptian stuff there, and I think Mother got there after all that. And she just tried to interpret it the way she could.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's supposed to be true. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if when those light source was unplugged, would that have destroyed the whole world or not? That's still the big question. Did the island's destruction have any implications for the rest of the world?
Yeah.
We didn't really.
Yeah. It would have been nice for them to indicate that somehow.
To indicate that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just to give us some idea of what's... Because, it's, it'd be great if, the plane that Frank's flying goes back to a world that's, completely destroyed.
Yeah. Or, it's in shambles, or there was massive earthquakes around the world or something, or, some sense that what happened on the island was having effects elsewhere, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It wasn't clear what the global threat was. And also, exactly what the deal... See, I think initially what I want to say now, maybe I'll change my mind later, what I want to say now is I'm okay with the island answers being vague, more or less. I mean, it'll be fun to try to go through them, but it's the way they ended the Flash Sideways and the characters that I'm having the most trouble with.
Mhm.
I think that part, if that part had been exactly what I wanted, I could easily let the island stuff go.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But that wasn't exactly what I wanted.
So if the island is a cork, I wonder if that is supposed to specifically apply to the plug situation down there. The plug is keeping evil in there, and then when Man in Black gets knocked down in there, he he unhinges the plug a little bit, letting the evil out, which sort of takes him over or something, and then Jack then Desmond takes it off completely, and then Jack puts it back. But I wonder if that was supposed to be the idea.
Oh, he just kind of knocked into it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the evil was in there,
right?
And the cork, the plug let it out, and he was there when it got let out, so he absorbed it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, it'll work. Nothing in the show contradicts that theory.
Well, next season, I can't wait to find out what happens after they walk through the white light. And
yeah, we could really make a list of the shit we don't know, but I kept thinking, okay, cabin, anybody? No?
Oh, geez.
Okay, good, no cabin.
Yeah.
Claims? What does that mean? Anyone want to tell me?
Oh,
no,
wow. Dogan said, I think it'd be better if you were dead, Saeed. And I'm thinking, okay. Yeah, the claim stuff never seemed to come to anything.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. Smokey judging people. What do you got? No? All right.
Yeah, I mean, they talked about this in the recap, and I think it's pretty clear that it's when John Locke sees Smokey for the first time, that's when Smokey decides, I'm going to use this guy. Because he already believes in what's going on the island. It seemed like their point was there was some connection John had to the island. Like whatever supernatural things that were going on, his explanation was he credited to the island or something, to some connection to the island, but that wasn't necessarily true. They don't tell us what that is, though. but I think that's what it seems like. It's like they're saying, he said it was the connection to the island, like that's his explanation, and that faith is what led to his demise. But he wasn't necessarily right, because it's like, well, what was he connected to? It wasn't Jacob,
right?
It wasn't Smokey, it wasn't the light, So it's like the whole concept of the island's not through with you and all this stuff really didn't come to much.
It was just kind of.
It was just like people's interpretations.
Yeah, yeah. They just sort of made it up to fit what they thought they should do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the island was clearly not like an entity.
No.
For me, that dream really died when we found out that it was young Jacob.
Mhm.
That's when I was like, okay, well, if that's not the island, then I don't think the island's ever going to show up.
No.
So the island is just this place that has this magic light for some reason. And people need to protect it for some other reason. And
they need to protect it so they can find the love for one another.
Is that it? Is that what it does?
Yes. I don't know.
Like, is that supposed to be the point? I feel like there really should be some point like that.
Yeah. Well, Jacob says the island needed them as much as they needed the island, and they needed the island to have shared experiences so that they can bond. I still don't know what the island gets out of it, but I kind of see what they get out of being on the island. But and I still, it's almost like I still don't understand why these people are connected. Because in the Flash Sideways, they're already waiting for each other. It's like they're already connected, right?
Yeah.
Sort of eternally, because there is no time there. So they're just sort of already and have always been connected and just sort of waiting for each other in some sense. And yet, in the original timeline on the island, some of them are connected, some of them aren't. Some of them leave the island, some of them come back, and it's just, I don't know how it's supposed to really mesh up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't either. And I don't know. I guess they've left it so vague that, like, you could almost take old stuff and, just like you did with the Blastorm app, just start reading ridiculous things into it and make it all fit somehow.
Mhm.
You know, like, oh, okay, the blast zone map was really a clue about the nature of the light at the end. Like, why?
Well,
not?
you know, the flash sideways was a bad plan that can't be changed.
Yes. And you know, God damn it, I really liked the Flash Sideways.
Mhm.
It had a lot of good stuff. And now, look what they've done.
They sullied it a little bit, I think. I mean, when it was like, okay, now everyone is realizing and it was like by the end, you know, by the time Kate is talking to Jack and all that stuff, it's like they know, they're so in touch with this other idea, like they're, of course, beyond us because we don't really know that they're all dead. They've kind of realized that already.
Yeah.
You know, so it's strange. It's strange for the Flash Sideways to just sort of start with this really small, sort of meandering vibe, and they all kind of connected, and they sort of find each other, and then they try to kill each other and show each other the truth. But just so they can move on, like, you know.
And what happens when people die in Purgatory?
They don't.
Okay, like Kimi and Omar and Mikhail.
Yeah, I guess they go to some other place. It almost seemed like those people didn't matter. It's like the Losties mattered.
Yeah.
The people who were in that room mattered.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the other people, maybe they went somewhere else. You know.
I guess that's supposed to be the idea of why they were all connected, because it was really their place.
Yeah, it's like they, you know, their connection has these tangential connections to these other people who aren't as important.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about the Destiny thing, though. Like, I really thought somehow there would be something like they'd, you know, I don't know, they'd meet Destiny at the end or something.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny would say, yes, this is what I wanted for you, Jack.
Played by Whoopi Goldberg.
Sure, why not? You're in danger, girl.
You're in danger, Jack. This is purgatory, honey. I don't know. Wisecracking Destiny, I could see it.
Why not?
I could see it.
I don't know. I didn't exactly, that's an exaggeration, but I really did think there'd be some clear thing. I mean, maybe the Flash Sideways is supposed to be like that, I guess, about the destiny of the characters, but it just, I don't know. It seems to me like a lot of them, whatever they got out of being on the island, I don't know. Was it? Okay, well.
It's almost like their adventures on the island were only in service to get them to move to the other side in the Flash Sideways.
Yeah. But then, and it's all that business about all that other stuff. What was that? And Jughead was so not even, they just did the Jughead thing. That's it.
So, you know,
and
I guess I'm just going to say,
was wrong, seemingly.
Yeah, well, I guess the best Jughead did was to get them to the future, and maybe that's it.
Okay. Yeah, it did.
I don't know where the bomb energy went. I was so sure they would tell us it's what sank the island.
Yeah.
And the Flash Sideways, but I guess the island, the Flash Sideways, is just, I don't know why it's sunk.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't really know.
That's just confusing. I mean, the whole thing with the Flash Sideways is weird because it's this whole world, and there's these people, and some of them are real, and some of them are not, and you can have kids, but they never had to be alive, and you can die, and like, I don't know. Because it's like Jack's dad was dead, right? And then he's alive.
That's what's strange. Yeah, that's what I said before. It's like, okay, he did die at some point. Like, Flash Sideways Jack has memories of growing up with Christian being an alcoholic, Christian going to Australia, drinking himself to death, and Jack going to try to get the body, presumably identifying the body like he did before, and then, you know, then the body is lost for a while. At some point, the body gets reanimated or something, and it's really Christian.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. Wow.
And some of this might even work better if, for instance, the Christian who told John to tell my son I said hello was the same Christian in the Flash Sideways.
Right.
He's trying to help, the Losties on the island, do the things they need to do to make the Losties in the Flash Sideways move on. I just want those kind of connections to be present, and I just feel like they're not really there.
No, because it's just Smokey trying to get Jack to come back for some reason. So it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of stuff, and I didn't really... Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like it wasn't even about the island.
No, it's not about the island anymore.
Yeah, the island was just some place with crazy powers.
Here's the thing. There's two camps. I think they basically make clear is the question is, I think they said something like this in the recap. It's like, okay, you can ask why are they on the island, which is basically asking for answers, or you can ask why these characters, why these people, which is basically asking for character story stuff. And they just side on the character story stuff. Yeah. That's just the ultimate answer, is that it's just about these people. It's ultimate about these people. It's almost like the island didn't even matter. They could have sort of had some other life that was hectic and dramatic, and they sort of maybe all would have just still ended up in this purgatory waiting for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like they could have been on some other action-adventure show or something and had a similar series of adventures together and form relationships and have people die, and you could just sort of still do the same thing. Oh my God, that was a call drop. All right. So, am I still on? Let me see. Yes, I am. I'm not even going to try to read the news. I'm just going to read this chat stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, good.
I wanted something like, okay, well, this wouldn't have worked. The Flash Sideways wouldn't have worked out the way it did if Jack didn't become the leader of the island, the protector of the island, and, whatever power he had helped, blah, blah, blah. Just like something to make it worth it. Something to connect the two worlds, to make it seem like they needed to go through all this stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe the idea is supposed to be if they didn't go through their adventures on the island, they would have just lived in this purgatory world and never realized that it was fake. And I guess that's supposed to be bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. So Desmond was... Okay, wait a minute. So Widmore put Desmond in an electromagnet thing, and he went to purgatory?
Yeah, apparently that's what we have to say now.
That really happened? Okay.
It's almost like Flatliners.
Yeah,
Lost
it is.
is like Flatliners.
It's exactly like Flatliners.
Mhm.
Wow. That's weird.
Yeah.
Flatliners isn't bad.
No, good movie.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Sure. I think that's Joel Schumacher.
Yeah. So Guest 46 says, what was Christian doing on the island and in the cabin? That was mostly Smokey.
Yeah.
Man in Black.
Yeah.
So he was trying to hatch his loophole plan and get off the island.
Yeah, he sort of messed with Jack a little bit at the beginning. After a while, he seemed to just be Christian. I don't know why. They wanted to use John Terry or something. But that was, it was someone dead that he could look like.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Christian off the island is still a bit of a mystery. Christian on the freighter is still a little bit of a mystery. But Christian on the island is pretty clear, I think. Disappointing, but fairly clear.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I thought they would find his body, too. I really expected at some point it'd be like, Jack would be like, where's my father's body? And he'd say, oh, I put it in the caves, or I don't know. Well, whatever.
Oh, you mean on the island he'd find the body?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just gone. His body was just gone. He never found it.
Yeah, I was sure that would come up in this episode. I thought it would sort of parallel the thing. Because I feel like that's all that happened. He just moved. Either Christian's body just flew out of the coffin, or he just moved it somewhere.
Yeah.
So that Jack would think that he was walking around.
Yeah, I guess he just moved it somewhere. Do you think Smokey ever found out where his body was? The cave that he led Jack to is where his body was with his mother. Do you think he knew that? Hey, Jack, I'm gonna lead you to the cave where me and my mom are hanging out.
I don't know. I feel like he never. Well, I guess if he had Locke's memories, he probably knew about the bodies there, and maybe he would recognize the cave and know that was the one he lived in, and do the math or whatever. Not math, I guess. But
put two and two together.
Yes.
That's what you mean by do the math.
That's what I mean by do the math.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So he could have known, I guess, that his body was in the cave. He did say that he took my body at one point, so it seems like he knows, that his body is somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I think for that he just means pushing him down the cave. Like he took his corporeal form away from him.
Well, I know, but I still think he knows that his body is not, that he's not his body anymore. Whatever I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He knows he's something else.
Yeah, he knows he doesn't have a body anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's what he means when he says Jacob took my body. He made me a smoke monster.
Yeah.
Now I'm not human anymore.
Yes. Yeah, he became a smoke monster.
Yeah, I was watching some of the earlier season today, and it was interesting just to see some of the lines that they say, and how we interpret them, and then what the actual truth is. So a little bit where Smokey was explaining to Sawyer, I've been trapped. So he said, I've been trapped so long, I don't know what it's like to be free. So that was the first thing he said, which makes it seem like he's been on the island so long that he doesn't know. He doesn't know what it's like to be free. Then we find out, of course, he's always been on the island. So it's sort of like the truth is sort of even more bigger than that. He's just sort of never been off the island.
Yes.
But then after that, he says, before I was trapped, I was a man like you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, now he's talking about a different version of being trapped. Now he's talking about being trapped as Smokey, not specifically being trapped on the island.
Yeah.
Because he was never sort of a man off the island. So
right.
I think that's what made us think he had a home off the island.
Yeah.
It made us think he was a human man off the island because they sort of combined those two ideas of trapped in sort of one idea.
Yes.
When it's really sort of two ideas.
It's separate. Yeah, completely. he wanted to get off the island before he became Smokey, but then once he became Smokey, he was trapped for a different reason.
Mhm.
And I guess he was referring to the second thing in that line.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
Being trapped as Smokey, but
before he became Smokey. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing where you think, okay, well, he's saying trapped, so he must mean the same thing. But it's like, okay, you get to the end of the show, and it's like, no, he was sort of talking about sort of different versions of trapped.
Right.
So, so it's just like, when you're watching it and you're trying to make these guesses, it's like, you're using sort of incorrect information to make guesses. So that's why we get it wrong and stuff, because it's like, well, it's not exactly what they meant.
Right. And it would be hard just hearing that line to guess what the truth is.
Mhm. No, I think he's talking about a different version of trapped right here in this next sentence. It's like, okay,
yeah, that's
sure.
not an outtake from earlier in the season. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, so what do you think about Smokey and Man in Black? Man in Black versus, Locke. I've definitely heard people who say, since Smokey is, basically Smokey isn't the same as, the Man in Black. Once he's separated from his body, that guy's dead. Smokey's this other thing. And so it's not really Jacob's brother. I've heard some people say that, the drama is sort of different because they feel like he's not really Jacob's brother.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm on the side of saying, well, he's effectively Jacob's brother, and the show is playing the drama like that's his brother for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I mean, they gave him those. He talked about his crazy mother, and I mean, he took my body. I used to be a man. I mean, all those lines I think point to that being Jacob's brother.
Yeah, it's like he's his brother, but it's not really. He just thinks he's him or something. It's like how far do you go with that?
Oh, he's just confused.
Or how much new? I guess I should say how many hairs do you split with that?
Yeah, I guess if you want to, you can do that. I think it's him still.
It's like, okay, Locke has, when he's Locke, he has all Locke's memories, but he's not Locke.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, when he thinks he's Man in Black, he has all those memories, but is he really that person? It's like,
I see.
For all intents and purposes, I would say, yeah,
so
for the drama to play out.
That is muddled because basically he assumes his own dead form, I guess, which is kind of confusing. Mm-hmm. Seems unnecessarily convoluted. But yeah, I feel like he looked like himself because that's who he was, and of course that's why the reason why we didn't see him earlier, in my opinion, is I feel like it's just simply that they had not cast that actor yet.
Yeah.
I think we probably would have seen him in that form earlier if they had him.
Yeah.
They wanted to maintain the mystery about who he is. But I think underneath it all, even when he was Locke, he was talking about his crazy mother and how he used to be a man, and he was not, he was saying those things as though he was Jacob's brother, not as though he was Locke, even though he looked like Locke. So I think he identified himself with Jacob's brother pretty clearly.
Yeah. In the chat they're talking about the island being purgatory. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, season 1, people were saying the island's purgatory, and that's not exactly the ultimate answer of Locke.
Yes, but somehow no. Okay, but
it's close.
They were on kind of a right track. I mean,
yeah.
In the end, it did function like a purgatory for them.
Mhm.
Maybe not the island itself, but somehow the
fact
that
they were.
Yeah.
If you would have said the show was about purgatory, you'd be really close to being right.
Yeah.
But the island isn't purgatory, but it's definitely purgatory is heavily involved with this, and I think that's what's so crazy to go so far away from that idea, to go so heavily into sci-fi, and to say here's some science, and here's we get a scientist on here, and we're doing experiments, and now we're time traveling, and now we're doing all this stuff, to go so far from this is heaven and hell and purgatory, and then at the very end it come right back to it and say, yep,
purgatory,
and we're in a church.
Right.
Yeah, I
Pay
don't
no
know. I
attention
didn't.
to the Jesus statue out front.
Yeah. It's
Lost. A great big
Yeah, I didn't know I'd be going at the end. I guess maybe I did a little bit, but I thought I'd be going about other issues.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just think it's weird to watch to rewatch the show and to know this ending.
Yeah, totally.
You know.
Totally. Yeah, I was just not. The last episode, I was just, oh man, I wanted my concert party. I didn't get a concert party.
You got enough. They had a scene or two.
It was lame. They were all sitting at nice tables and.
Well, that's what I thought. Like you thought they would be dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was thinking it would be a banquet. It's like a fundraiser banquet thing, and they just have somebody play on stage. And that's why I was like, I don't know how much fun that can be.
Yeah.
People just sitting listening to Drive Shaft.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Well, I don't know what else to say. I guess if people have comments they want to bring up, questions that they want us to discuss, do we like Kate's dress at the end with the black dress? Yes, she looked very ready to move on.
That's her moving on dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's all about putting on dresses.
Mhm.
They're fake. They're not. Why do they even have bodies? It's I don't know. Whatever. It's just.
Why do people have bodies? Is that what you just said?
Yes, it is. Why do people have bodies? I don't understand. Explain that to me.
Loss makes you question very strange things. Why do people have bodies? How would you rate this? I mean, this would be an unofficial early rating, but
yeah.
I think I'm satisfied to a large degree, but I think, like I said, I think even with what they gave us, I feel like I could be happy with it if there were more direct implications of how the two worlds affect each other, and it just seems like they're sort of separate, and that to me is the most disappointing part. Besides having, I can deal with not having specific answers to the light and stuff, but to not even suggest that the light has something to do with the flash sideways, or it is the flash sideways, or anything like that, I think is that's disappointing.
Yeah, it is. I agree. It would have been nice to tie that together a little more.
Yeah.
I think for me, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. Probably watch it again, and I'm starting to digest it now. It's that I'm starting to, get some distance from the episode and sort of evaluate what that was. But yeah, yeah, it wasn't really the I'm just it's that flash sideways stuff. God.
So how did Bid get from out under that tree? Yeah, I think it almost seemed like when the island started shaking that last time that they were sort of trying to apply leverage to that one end of the stick most of them were on, most end of the branch, but yeah, they didn't really explain how he got out of there. Oh yeah. So let's a quick thing, like Alana blowing up from the dynamite. The explanation the island was done with her. That's probably not true then, huh?
Doesn't look like it.
Just bad luck.
Yeah, it looks like she just got really hasty with the dynamite.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the island was as done with her as it is with anyone who dies for a stupid reason.
Yeah.
Seemingly. Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't even necessary. It was just weird to me how, the plot changes. It's like, I got to blow up the plane. No. we're going to fly the plane. Ah, yes.
Yes, that's better.
That's what I was. I was searching for something, and I knew it involved a plane.
It makes me think, like, the Flash Sideways, I wonder, like, I'm trying to connect it to the island desperately. And I'm wondering if it's something like, you know...
I feel like it should be connected to the island, because, like, can any group of people just get together and make their own purgatory?
Yeah.
And
maybe with advanced reservations.
Like, if Widmore hadn't done his test, would they just never have figured it out? Did you say that earlier?
I said I think maybe no one else could have survived moving the plug or something like that besides Desmond. That's probably the best thing he did.
Oh, okay. Well, in terms of, like, he was the catalyst for waking the people up in the Flash Sideways.
Oh,
you know?
I see.
So it's like, if Widmore hadn't done his little test, would he just never have woken up and it just would have continued forever?
Well, Charlie had already saw the other side, so...
Oh, that's true. And I guess Libby did, too.
Yeah, so I think it would have just taken longer, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
So here's my idea how this Flash Sideways could connect to the island, with the Flash Sideways being purgatory. Ugh.
You said it out loud.
Yeah. Maybe, you know, the same way that Michael and those guys were trapped on the island, maybe they had a different version of purgatory where they were trapped. You know, and so maybe, like, you know, whatever room it looks like or whatever visual construct those people would see where they were, you know, maybe they could walk through a door that flashes light and they show up on the island or something like that. You know, maybe those people had their own sort of purgatory, the bad people or something, and then the Losties had their version.
Right.
And so, but so my point is, maybe it's predicated on the island. Like, you know, whoever was trapped in this sphere of the island was exposed to this purgatory idea.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, that makes me really weird. It makes me really concerned about what the morality is supposed to be. Like, so okay, so what Michael did is just totally unforgivable, and he's just stuck on the island now. But like, Saeed is okay. He gets to go to the good purgatory. Like, he killed way more people than Michael did.
That's the thing. I don't know where Michael's purgatory is. You know, and I don't know if it's even bad. I just think, you know, I almost want to just say the same way that the Losties were trapped in the Flash Sideways. You know, trapped because they haven't realized they need to move on. It seems like maybe Michael's group is trapped that way, but they realize they're dead. They already know the truth because they're you know, they're going back and forth between the islands, so they know the difference. You know, and so maybe when the Losties move on, maybe Michael's group moves on. They might not be going to the same place though.
Okay.
But maybe they can. Maybe that's why Michael and the dead people try to help anyway. Is to. But it almost doesn't matter because in the long run, everybody dies.
Yeah, and I don't see why Michael gets sifted out. You know, why wouldn't Michael be in the Flash Sideways? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I was surprised we didn't see a Walt. I thought, okay, even if he looks old, I still want to see Walt.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, I would have expected him to do that. Because it just seems so arbitrary. Oh, Michael, he's, you know, what he did was so bad, he can't even be here. It's like, what? I don't know. I mean, some of the people that were there, Ben, I mean, forget about it.
Yeah.
He can destroy Michael in evilness.
Yeah. So, like, when Richard was shouting that they were in hell, like, he was sort of close.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, I remember when they kept saying that, and I'm thinking, they're really getting to that? Are we really back to season 1? Like, this is hell, and, like, it was close.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was just a metaphor.
It
was more than a metaphor.
It's a metaphor that couldn't be changed.
Yeah. Indeed.
But it seems like most people liked it.
I didn't dislike it. I mean...
Oh, you hated it.
There was... There was a lot of parts that were enjoyable to watch. I mean, on the whole, I think, like you, in general, it's fine. It's just sort of like the specific things that make it kind of weird and creaky and unpleasant. And also, like...
Are those synonyms for awesome? I'm confused.
I have a very special thesaurus where... There's very strange words. It's just, for me, when you tell me, okay, I made you watch all this stuff, and you thought it was this, but it's really that. For me, that's always a letdown.
Mhm. Yeah, but exactly, that's the point I was trying to make with the Mother May I episode, is that they were reasonably leading us to believe we were going to get a certain kind of answer, and then they gave us the fantasy answer. And I thought, well, it's one thing if I have expectations that are wrong, but it's another when I have what I would consider reasonable expectations about the direction of the show. And like I said, I was waiting to see what the final word was, and the final word is, like what you're saying now. It's like it is sort of disappointing because they did, I think, sort of objectively make us think the show was heading a different way.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you do expect them to make a left turn or to have a big reveal, but I think, not this reveal. You think it'd be something no one has thought about. I was waiting for the alien explanation. Come on, tell me they're aliens. Please,
get it over with.
Walk through the white light and it's a spaceship, please.
Yeah, no, they really weren't going to do that. No, I think, and so far, the answers are just, they're not bothering me quite as much as the purgatory thing. That I'm just totally stuck on that. I can't really get it, because for me that potentially ruins a lot of that stuff from this season. Yeah,
well, I consider that an answer. That's the big answer.
Okay. No, what I meant was the lack of answer, the vagueness of the answer.
Oh, I see.
That is a specific answer that they give that, isn't really. I mean, it's clear enough to me. I mean, it's not, it's sort of clear what's going on, but it's just not what I really wanted.
Mhm.
I wanted the Flash Sideways to have I don't know what I wanted, but I didn't want purgatory.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be real, I don't like watching stories about stuff that isn't real.
Oh, it's real. There was a scene about that. Didn't you see it? Christian and Jack were talking, and he said, "Is this real?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm real, you're real." Like, they made a point about saying, for all intents and purposes, it's real. It's just their afterlife. It's, it's sort of not the sort of real life. It's their afterlife, which is just as real as anything else. So,
but they all just collectively drop their lives and move on. I mean, that's not like real life.
Mhm.
I mean, that's not close enough to real life for me. You can say it's real all you want, but it's clearly different from what I call real.
Yeah.
So, I
Well, I mean, I figured the Flash Sideways was happening in some artificial reality. Obviously this is the sort of dream version. So that's why I thought it was subject to being dissolved at some point, because it wasn't sort of real like the island stuff was real. But you're saying you wanted that to be real, like at the end of the day, like this stuff was actually happening?
Yes. I thought it was a real alternate universe.
Mhm.
With exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's sort of parallel.
Yeah. With the same physics and the same, all that stuff. It's just that there were some different histories with the characters, and the plane doesn't crash and the island's underwater. I just thought it was. Other than that, same kind of planet we live on, all that. You can't just go to a church and walk into the light whenever you want.
Mhm. Well, you have to be ready first. Give them some credit.
Okay, well, you're all right. After you're ready. I guess they couldn't just do it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it might not be purgatory, but I think that's the best word I can use for it.
Yeah.
It's a limbo. It's a waiting period. It's the meeting place. whatever you want to call it.
I mean,
don't know what the best word is.
They didn't specifically name it, but I mean they did have a whole scene in a church. But I think it functions like, if it looks like purgatory, if it quacks like purgatory. I don't know.
Then
what
it's a duck.
To call it.
Then purgatory is a duck.
Yes, it is. A sad duck.
Quack, quack.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's appropriate to say purgatory.
Well, I think in the context of they're in a church and they walk through big double doors and there's a white light, that seems to be leading to heaven.
Sure.
So, what do you call the place they were at before heaven?
Yeah. 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 I mean, I think, as usual, I mean, they try not to be too specific about it, but it's pretty clear that they're getting at something like that.
So maybe when they walk through the white light, maybe it's an orgy a la Eyes Wide Shut. They're all together, and they can all go to a big orgy with masks and.
Where did that come from?
I'm just trying to figure out what's behind the white light. What's in the next room?
Okay. I mean, was there a white light at Eyes Wide Shut? Like, why? Where are you getting that from?
I don't know. I'm just thinking, what are all these people going to do now that they're together?
Okay. You were trying to think of, like, group activities.
Yeah, big group activities.
First thing you came up with was a opulent.
Don't ask me why, but yeah, that's what I like to do when I get a group of friends together.
I see.
When I'm in purgatory, I like to orchestrate orgies.
Why not?
And kick back with a good Cuban cigar.
Sure.
Cohiba. It's funny because, we made that whole thing about we would love to see the Losties just hang out and talk about all their adventures together. They probably will do that now.
Yeah.
I mean, if they care about the past life that they're leaving at this point, because, I mean, I feel like if you go to a new reality or plane of existence, you might not care about your old one. But to the extent that they are their same selves wherever they end up next, they might have those conversations.
Yeah.
Like, oh, when did you die? Oh, I died here doing this. What? You're crazy. Well, Ben killed me. Oh, Benjamin, you're so crazy. Son and Jen and I drowned. And Son is like, yeah, me. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I guess that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, some metal wrapped around me, and and a thing fell on me. It was just like when I got shot earlier in this purgatory world.
Yeah.
I just stand in the wrong place. I'm Son.
Yeah, and Ben didn't want to come with them. That's so strange because it seemed like he was redeemed.
Yeah.
It seemed like he seemed like he has some lingering guilt he wasn't ready to deal with, but I don't know where that was supposed to be from.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, because it looks like he served as number 2 on the island for a while.
Yeah, totally.
So he was I guess the new Richard.
Mhm.
And
which is a promotion.
Which is a promotion. It's true.
Yeah, you got to step up, so that's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I thought the whole thing with Ben and Man in Black really didn't pay off at all. Like it sort of became irrelevant that he went with him.
Exactly. When he was like, "Well, sorry, Ben, I forgot to tell you, I'm just going to destroy the island, and you'll have nothing to protect." So.
Yeah.
Which makes it look like Ben wasn't playing any double spy games with him. He really was on board. He really just shot Whitmore.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just going to kill everyone, and I think that's a little unsatisfying.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were hoping he was just playing along.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess so he just changes his mind at some point. It's like,
well, why wouldn't he change? I mean, it's like, I guess the deal is off. I mean, there's no incentive for him to kill everyone if he's going to die if the island is destroyed. So,
right.
Yeah. I mean, Ben Tolark is realizing to let go of his power or something like that. So
yeah,
he was like, well, I'll just help these guys, help Hugo.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Desmond was left off on a weird note in the island. Like he's just sort of there, sort of unconscious, and you don't know what happens to him.
Yeah, I really thought on Island Desmond would have more to say, but he still seemed pretty confused.
So maybe we're supposed to believe Online and Desmond realize. If he realizes the Flash sideways, which he did, then maybe he went as far as realizing that he was sort of ultimately dead in whatever grand sense.
Yeah.
And so maybe that explains his being weird after he got zapped by the energy. Like he was like, well, I don't care if I go with Saeed. I don't care if you put me in a well. I don't care what you do to me because I'm sort of I've been to a place where I'm already dead or something like that. So maybe that explains his lack of interest.
Right. I guess
who's my favorite character?
What?
Somebody says somebody's my favorite character. Perry says someone's my favorite character.
Wonder
I'm
why.
trying to figure out who is my favorite character.
Penny?
Yeah. Penny's not my favorite character.
Okay, that was weird. Ana Lucia? Probably my favorite character. Who's your favorite character? Oh, Juliet.
Yes. Juliet's definitely for the women on Lost. You know, it's hard pressed to beat Juliet for me. Kate's definitely up there, but you know, Kate has a lot of low points on her graph of awesomeness.
Yeah.
And Juliet has a higher average. I'm a big Juliet fan.
Yeah. Yeah, Juliet was good.
And yeah, I think I felt bad we didn't call the we should have just had a whole podcast trying to guess the symmetries of what they would do at the end, because we could have got close with a lot of stuff like Juliet scanning doing the I was gonna say autopsy doing the ultrasound on Sun.
Oh God.
Just like she did in the medical hatch. So it's like, okay, here's another symmetry.
Yeah. They did the lock toe wiggle thing.
The lock toe wiggle, yeah.
I think
the 1/4 pucker. I don't know if I saw it too much in this episode.
No, she wasn't doing her banter.
Mhm.
That's when she usually does the pucker.
Yeah, the runways for the aliens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a good thing. God, they really did just fly that plane.
They really did, didn't they?
It actually happened.
And I was just thinking, okay, how did they get the plane turned around? Oh, they turned around.
That's what they did. Yep. It was so... and really, like, nobody died.
Nobody who?
I mean...
On the plane? Or...
Nobody, period.
Oh, the ones who were left from the last round of death?
In the episode, like, no one died. I mean, I guess Jack sort of dies at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it. I mean, everyone else makes it.
What did you think about Jack's death in terms of, his wound? I thought they were going to say I thought they were going to say something about his survivability, because I thought it was going to be like, that's where his appendix was. And if his appendix hadn't burst earlier, it would have been there, and this stab wound would have been worse or something. But they kind of didn't really say anything about that.
No, I didn't think about his wound at all, or how it might be related. Although it now occurred to me that he had an appendix scar in purgatory, which is really weird and pointless.
Well, because he had his appendix out in purgatory.
All right.
When he was a kid, he had his appendix taken down.
It's gone.
Right, yeah, I mean, yeah. Why can't you be a kid in purgatory? Look at David.
You're right. If you can have a kid in purgatory, why can't you have purgatorial organs as well?
Yeah.
And get them removed and have scars from them. But the knife thing, like what? I don't know. I mean, I guess like it's supposed to be a clue or something, but I just don't think it makes sense.
It's almost like one reality bleeding over into the next, but it doesn't. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't quite. They don't quite tell you what you're supposed to think about that. Yeah. Because I mean, it just seems like it's just I don't know. Because it's out of time. It's got people there who are just so not dead yet, and just at this arbitrary point, you know, when he gets a cut, and of all the other times he's been hurt, that time is the one that shows up in purgatory. I don't know. I don't understand that. That's weird. The one from Locke and I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to think about that. Yeah. Jack coming close to death, and that's supposed to be a clue for him to realize he's dead. Something like that, maybe. Oh. I mean, it's subtle at best. So okay. I don't really know. Yeah. No, that sort of makes sense. So it seems like they only had Jack and Juliet divorced so she could end up with Sawyer at the end, I guess. Yeah, that would have been awkward. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with those, like, afterlife things, because it's like, oh, man, if you had your wife die and then you got married again, and it's like, I don't know what awkward. To do. Yeah. Yeah, like, they're just, I don't know. Because, like, it's like Saeed is lucky, I don't know. He's lucky he got involved with one of them. Like, he could have all kinds of potential people show up there. You know, where's Elsa at? Oh, yikes. Just saying. Yeah, I don't know where Elsa is. I mean, I guess it was supposed to be about the island, and that was the part that mattered. You know. Still, yeah. Off-island crime syndicate, hunting everyone down. Answers on that? Like, it's like, yeah, what's up with Jacob and the like? Jacob did all these centuries. Jacob bringing people to the island. He's trying to find another protector and all. He's trying to stop smoking and all this stuff. And then at the end of the day, is he even aware of the Flash Sideways stuff? You know? I don't think he is. The stuff that really matters. I don't think he is. I'm kind of surprised he wasn't there. You know, and he didn't sort of do what Christian did. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely. I mean, he was just a guy who lived for a long time. So I guess he. Yeah. I don't think he knew about the Flash Sideways though. No, I don't think so either. And it looks like the Flash Sideways had nothing to do with the bomb either. Yeah, it's almost like Man in Black was right. The island doesn't really need protecting. It's like there are certain consequences if you do certain things down where the light is, but barring that, it's just a damn island. Yeah. I mean, it does seem like if Jacob hadn't made him the smoke monster, then, the island wouldn't have been such a miserable place. Yeah, and it seems like they wouldn't have had anything to, no one would have ever found the light cave. It's like you can't really find it unless you know where it is or you're looking, or you're, told to look for it or something. So it's like, Man in Black couldn't find it. He's an island native, and he spent 30 years looking for it. So it's like the chances of another random human finding it are pretty slim, I would imagine. So it's like, it seems like you don't really need to protect it. You know, and if the worst thing that happens is the island is destroyed, then that's not that bad. You know, and we don't know if anything else worse than that would have happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to wait till the Lost movie comes out to get these final answers.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
The Lost movie, finally.
Lost, Beyond the White Lights. Yeah, so Jack did wake up. His body was flushed out of the light cave exactly where Man in Black's body was, except Jack wasn't dead.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I guess Smokey had already taken that evil. Yeah, it's almost like Smokey never knew what he was.
No, I don't think he did. He just knew what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think. It's weird. There was just like some evil down there. It's almost like Smokey did a good thing. Like he sort of scrubbed the evil out.
Mm-hmm.
And now when you go in there, you don't turn into a smoke monster anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe that.
Well, who knows? If somebody, now that the light is back, it's like, well, if someone else gets knocked down there, would they turn? You know, would it happen again, or is the evil killed with Smokey?
Yeah.
And what does that even mean? Is that the evil in the world, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
also
weird.
Wasn't what
like the whole the light that's in every man, like it's also got some. I mean, I guess you said that. I guess it sort of works. It's weird. It's got a little evil in there.
Mhm.
But you have to protect.
Yeah, every light has an evil lining.
Like
that's the saying, isn't it?
Something like that. So it's like the mother was partially protecting evil.
Yeah. Which is why she wanted her bad son to be in charge. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. What?
Yeah, Perry, I would recommend watching the recap. It's always nice, I think, to see them tell the story of Lost.
I wish I had watched the recap.
Yeah, they give you a little bit of hints about how you're supposed to think of things, and character state of minds and sort of reasons why they do certain things, I think, and it's interesting to see the stuff they leave out too.
So did watching the recap?
The narrator was Titus Welliver, by the way. It didn't. I knew his voice sounded familiar, but it didn't really sound like him to me until I saw the credits, and I'm like, oh, that's Titus. I should have enjoyed the narrator more.
Wow.
Yeah, Ben totally should have done it. He narrated the season 6 recap premiere episode thing, I think, and it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what were you asking me, sorry?
Did it make you think anything in particular about where the show would go? Like, did it hint at what they eventually did?
Yeah, it said purgatory is the ultimate answer, and no.
It's really lame.
No, it didn't really steer you too close to the ultimate ending, I don't think.
Okay. So you didn't like guess it.
No.
Based on watching that.
I wasn't thinking purgatory until it was like pretty obvious. I'm dead, you're dead, we're all dead. Okay.
Mhm.
What do they got to do with the island is my question.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they just I don't really understand that. When do they form the pact? Like, a lot of them were dead. I don't know.
The pact was formed. I think it's like it. No one sort of consciously did it. It's like their connections are so strong to each other that by virtue of those connections, this place was created.
Okay.
That's sort of my interpretation of it.
Yeah.
And it's sort of always, it sort of, in effect, was always there because there is no time.
Right.
Satisfied?
I guess. I mean, yeah. It's just, it's weird that Ben is there, and
here's a question I have for you.
There, and it's just like
you read The Stand, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Without of course, giving away spoilers, how would you compare their way of answering and / ending Lost versus how they, answer questions / ended The Stand? Did it fall on more concrete explanations, or was it more of a generalized fantasy? It doesn't really matter. Like, I just wonder how any connections to The Stand that might be in this ending.
Yeah. I mean, the stand doesn't end with purgatory.
Of course, yeah.
So I will say that. But
so was it more definitive in like one of the good side or the bad side won, or? Yeah,
it's pretty definitive on who wins. Sort of what actually happens is a bit of a what they call Deus Ex Machina, I guess.
Okay.
It sort of comes out of nowhere, and it's like, that's it, But I think the big distinction for me is that, The Stand was never written about mysteries. Like, there's not a lot of times when you read it where you're like, okay, what's this about? Like, explain this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why when you see this guy, do you always see ravens or something? Like, you never really feel like they have to explain those things, so it doesn't feel weird when they don't.
Okay.
Because it's all like atmosphere and, just building up the sort of evil character and, so it is similar in what they did, but I guess it doesn't feel like it's missing anything.
Mm-hmm.
To me, like it gives you the ending you expect based on what you've been reading the whole time.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Whereas I think Lost didn't really do that. It's like they had a show that was great and it was set up. It's about to be light outside.
Yeah, it's 7 a.m. where you are. Oh no, it's 6. Sorry.
Yeah, sunrise apparently. So they had the engine in a way of the show, like week to week, was besides the character stuff, which definitely is there, was mysteries.
Mhm.
And when you set up mysteries, you do sort of expect that you're going to get stuff on them later,
Mhm.
And they had stuff on some mysteries. It's like
well, you know what they say when you expect mysteries to answers to mysteries.
What do they say?
You're an asshole. That's what they say.
Okay. I see.
Only assholes do that.
And I like I've said before, like I am okay with sort of not getting the answers, but it's it's just weird to have sort of a whole show with like all this stuff in it. And I guess for me, maybe the distinction with Twin Peaks is that in Lost the imagery was never strong enough to just sort of carry on its own. I sort of wanted to know more, and that was where my interest was more than just kind of enjoying how it looks and the music and stuff like that. It wasn't really like that, So I think that made me sort of want more concrete stuff a lot of the time. But at a certain point in the show, particularly this season, I sort of realized we weren't getting that, so I'll take what I can get, which is apparently just purgatory.
Yeah, I think even when you lower your expectations, they sort of give you a little bit less than that,
Yeah.
Which is again disappointing. But that's the thing. It's overall I liked it. I liked the finale. It was interesting. There's a lot of good character stuff. But it's I'm very anxious to go rewatch everything, but it's going to be so hard to just think this is all about purgatory.
Yeah, it's really...
You're doing all this stuff, and you don't even realize you're already dead.
It's really tough to just put a stamp on the show like that, because it's like all that drama about all those intricate things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that even with Across the Sea, I thought it was still, it was still possible that the story all sort of hung together. I mean, it was a bit all over the place, but yeah, now that it's sort of about that, it's like all that stuff with the others and Dharma, and it's like, how it seems like that was really just a distraction.
That was so many. That was like the fourth or seventh tier of like distractions. There's so many, there's so many levels of this is not what the story is really about.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, we spent a season on this. The show is nowhere near about this.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, there's a whole season about the others' fertility problems and Ben's surgery, and it's like,
you know what? We get the history of the island seems to begin with Egyptians. It's the earliest culture we can see evidence of on the island. They built a statue of a fertility goddess, and we still don't really get any answers about what was going on with the fertility problem. I guess the best thing I want to guess is the man in black was killing babies somehow. Like, he didn't want babies born on the island.
He didn't want babies. Okay.
I don't know what else what else was going on there.
Yeah, I don't either. But it is, I mean, even the post-end date stuff, like all that's, flash forward, getting off the island for a while, and then like the time travel, and they come back, and then Jacob is killed, and all the stuff with Smokey this season. Even it was just the way they quickly dispatched him. It was like, God, they could have done that like a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I expected him to be more formidable.
Yeah. Well, they made him mortal.
I know.
He was formidable for his formability was everything before that.
Yeah, it's like he was invincible for the whole season until like a few seconds before he dies.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm mortal now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
oops.
Now you're dead. It's like, wow, that's the dead smoke monster, sort of.
So did they help each other become better people? Is that what it is? Like, I don't know. It just seems like I'm wondering, is it the idea that everyone has groups of people like this, or is the Losties special with this purgatory thing because they went to the island? Would this have happened anyway? Did the island have any direct bearing on this Flash Sideways?
See, it comes across like this is like above and beyond that. Like it's not even about the island. It's they happen to get pulled into this island story because Jacob brought them there, but because of that particular coincidence, they formed this bond or something, and that caused them to create this purgatory place where they would all wait for each other. And the idea that they're sort of waiting to move on, I mean, that really makes it seem like time is running. Like, I don't know. I know there's no way for them to show stuff where it doesn't look like time's running, but
I think time is running in respect to that world. You can say, well, I remember yesterday, and I remember when David was born, and things like that are happening. Today I did lock surgery. Yesterday I didn't. I think time is running in that sense, but any objective view, it's not really running. It's just sort of, you can't. I don't think you can say, really attach it to the main timeline at all.
Yeah.
Because those events are happening, after everyone is dead yet. Everyone isn't dead yet, so it's like it hasn't happened yet. / it's already happened.
Okay.
Okay. And I think overall with the structure of the show, I think the ending does make sense. Every season in terms of answering, trying to give us an answer what was going on about the main mystery of that season or the main problem or the conflict. It was always like, okay, well now it's not the Hats that has the answers, it's the others that has the answers.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
It's not the others that has the answers, it's okay, Oceanic 6 leaving and coming back is going to explain something.
Yeah,
okay, well, it's not really that has the answers. It's, okay, now they're going back to the 70s that has the answers. Okay, well, not really that has the answers so much as Jacob has the answers. Okay, well, it's not really so much Jacob has the answers as his mother has the answers. Okay, well, it's not so much his mother has the answers as the answer is this other thing, which is the Flash Sideways. You know, it's like the final top tier answer doesn't even exist in the world of the original timeline. It is literally this other world. So it's like, that's interesting, but you know, we still don't know how it relates, and I think that's the big piece I'm missing.
Yeah. It's interesting, but it's definitely like.
Justin, are you reading the messages?
Not completely.
See your name. Read it. Read it.
Oh.
I think Perry's saying something to you. I'm getting lost in the text here.
I'm confused. Oh, the previous thing. Well.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand what he wants me to read. I'm lost.
Thanks for the podcast. We're going to go off on that note. Yeah. I'm sorry. So what were you saying before?
I don't remember.
Connecting, having the Flash Sideways connect to Lost, and that, I guess that's really my big problem so far. Is okay. Well, why does it matter? Why did any of the seasons 1 through 6 matter?
Yeah. I guess somehow that was them forming the relationships that led to the purgatory situation.
Yeah, but and so is the purgatory situation only because of those relationships, or would it have happened anyway? I want to have some idea of saying something like, if Jacob never brought them to the island, they would have never gotten to be connected so strongly to each other, and therefore the Flash Sideways wouldn't have happened.
Okay. I see. Yeah, you want to tie it in. It's coming across to me like it's not tied in. Like any group of people who have this shared thing could sort of do that. But yeah, maybe it's supposed to be an island thing.
Because if it's not tied in, then the question is, well, how does it relate and why does it matter?
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Yeah, no, that'd be good questions. So the purgatory thing was the epilogue? Is that what Perry wants me to read? The purgatory thing is the epilogue? I think that's it.
Yeah.
The whole point is that these are the best years with each other. So this is why they made this place. Okay. Yeah, they said some line like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's weird
so
that
funny,
the best years were filled with such misery and pain and sorrow.
Wait, are the best years on the island or Flash Hideaway years? So I was going to say, it's weird that they need, so many of the people on the Flash Hideaway hadn't even realized each other existed yet.
I think he means the island years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So best is relative.
Yeah, best is sort of a weird way to put it, I think, but somehow it was. It sort of reminded me of like it's the only great thing they'll ever do.
Mhm. Yeah, the end is just kind of crazy, kind of creepy when you realize they realize they're dead. and they're just like eager to go into the next life or whatever. That's a strange thing to see your characters just like, come on, dude. Hurley's like, come on, let's go be dead. I don't know.
Yeah.
You think people would have reacted like so strangely to that idea of what? I'm already dead, but they just all got this sense of comfort from it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like that at all.
No, Jack's. I got to say goodbye to my son. Like,
Mm-mm.
Like anything like that.
Son's
pregnant.
Yeah.
She's gonna take her pregnant baby into the afterlife with her.
God. That purgatory baby thing's always gonna bother me.
There's a sentence.
Yeah.
How is it Hurley dead? Hurley is totally... Well, he's dead in the sense he dies at some point.
Yeah. And, the purgatory is outside. Its time is different, so you go there, and everybody's dead already, even if they're not dead already.
Yeah, that's about right.
Because, just like Jacob died, he'll die, even if he's doing it for, whatever long period it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so you get Ben and Hurley hanging out with I guess some Desmond action at some point. Maybe Hurley lets Desmond leave somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe he helps him leave.
Yeah, I hope so. Desmond just, I don't know. He got serene, but it's like, well, okay. I mean, I guess if that's the way you look at it, just everybody just die now and go to purgatory. It's better anyway. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
You're already there. It's like you're already home. It's like you don't even know it.
Yeah. It was weird to have Desmond like chill out like that and not die. It seemed like it would have made more sense if he died. But he's just kind of laying around. Yes, but one day I'll be in purgatory.
Yeah.
Because, Penny's still alive. I don't know. I don't see why he wouldn't want to sort of spend his life with her if he has the choice.
So, because he can spend the afterlife with her.
All right.
There's more sex there.
That's just okay.
Everyone gets laid in the afterlife
because they're having babies, but that's just weird.
So Jacob said Desmond was a fail-safe. So I'm trying to think of what though. Fail-safe in what sense? Like that he what? Finish the sentence. How is he the fail-safe?
That he can survive a lot of electromagnetism, and he's the only one that can pull the plug, thereby, I don't know what, but Smokey's mortal and they can kill him. Oh, that's what they were supposed to do, right? So he pulls the plug, and then Smokey gets killed, and, the downside is that the island starts falling apart.
Do you think the idea was he was a fail-safe in terms of Smokey leaving, so that the idea that Desmond would go and pull the plug and the island would just sink and everyone would just die, including Smokey, because he'd, I guess, be mortal at that point?
That sort of works
too. So everyone just dies, and so that's better than Smokey getting off the island.
That's not what I was thinking, but yeah, that works. Yeah, that's sort of like a fail-safe kind of thing. It's not really safe.
So why did Jack not let Desmond put the plug back in? Because he wanted to do it.
He thought he had to do it.
Yeah.
He thought that was the thing he had to do.
They made some kind of comment like, Desmond's like, I got to put the light back or something. I got the sense almost like the light was in him or something like that. Were we supposed to believe the idea that everyone has a little bit of light in them. God, I hate saying that. and that like the idea is sort of the plug is like a it's like a fuse or something, and it needed to be relit, and so it could either have been Jack or Desmond, and Jack uses his light to relight it, and therefore that's why he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, this little light of mine. It's just we need to start singing it at this point.
I didn't really think it was that crazy, but I mean, sure, it works.
I think Desmond would have died because, like I said, I got to see that scene again. But he made some comment when Jack was down there with him that seemed like it was that if Desmond did it, Desmond would die. So that's why I get the sense it was like reigniting with their light. So whoever did it, their light would have been taken. God, what am I talking about?
Oh, okay. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
The people are like the little.
They're like little flames,
like a match or something.
Yeah, exactly. Little flames, and so the light needed to be relit with another little flame. So.
Okay. Yeah, maybe Desmond's light is a little bit faulty or something.
I don't think anything's wrong with it. I just think Jack wanted to sacrifice. He felt like he wanted to do it.
Yeah. But it seemed like he died of the stab wound that Smokey gave him. I
guess. I mean, he was holding that thing the whole time, but I don't know. It's hard to tell, I think. This whole light thing was sort of subtle.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a stab on the heart. It was a sort of like kind of stab wound he would have lived through ordinarily. But I don't know if which one we're supposed to believe. I mean, obviously the obvious thing is a stab wound. Yeah,
they did focus on it at the end. Showed it bleeding a lot.
Yeah, I think he had to give up his light. I think that was really what killed him.
Okay. Gave up his light. Okay.
Gave up his light so that others could see.
Wow.
See that they were in purgatory.
And they did the soft, lost at the end.
Yeah.
It's weird to see that because they've only done that 2 or 3 times with other episodes. It's like, that's the finale, huh?
I just don't know. Seeing my favorite characters walk off into the light is just not how I thought the show would end.
Yeah, me either. Me either. I like the idea that they got together, and it seemed really exciting before they told us what it was.
They spoiled it with the truth.
I was so hyped up for that concert. Okay, the concert first of all was a letdown, and then there was the post-concert activities. And I liked a lot of the stuff they did, and then it was just like, oh fuck, they're all dead.
The concert was almost really just for a couple of the characters to connect.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. Everyone didn't need to be there.
No, it really turned out to be all about the church thing.
Did Sawyer even see Charlotte there?
I don't think so.
Charlotte was... Who was she talking to? Oh, no, I'm thinking of...
I don't think Sawyer even went there.
Did he not even... Oh, yeah, he was at the hospital.
He went to the hospital.
He didn't even go there. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, he told Miles he wasn't going. He didn't go.
He really didn't go. I thought everybody had to go, but, yeah, it wasn't really about that. He just wanted to throw some characters together.
Yeah.
Had to have Claire have her baby, and Kate was there, and Charlie shows up, and
So Lost Flashbacks asks, how did we think it would end? And I would say my biggest thing was, and it still is, having the Flash Sideways connect directly to the main timeline, something with the idea that Jughead exploding created the alternate timeline, and just like the way season 4 was set up, how you see you sort of work backwards with the story. As the story progresses, you get towards the beginning, and I thought that's how it would be. Somehow that it would be cyclical, not sort of these two timelines are separate.
Yeah, Yeah. Yeah, that would have been fine. That would have been fine.
You know, like we walk, you know, almost have the exact same ending, but have walking through the door. You know, I guess that's the difference between what I would want and what they did is, you know, they have walking through the door being going somewhere else, and I would want walking through the door being, you know, tying back to their past. You know, having them being making some choice about going back to the island or something like that, you know, like connecting to the island timeline, but they decide to, you know, go forward to something new.
Move on together, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in theory I like the idea that they brought it back to the actual characters that we've been following for most of the show, but you know, they got me into the new versions of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know, for me it just kind of sucks to pull it out and say, no, that stuff wasn't real. This was really just this weird construct that they had to wake up and get out of. You know, I don't know. I liked the Jack who had a son with Juliet and Sawyer that was a cop, and, you know, I like that.
That's
stuff.
all real, Justin. It's all real.
You know, you can say that as much as you want.
All right, thank you.
I don't know. For me, it's harder. Okay, so like it's just easier. I don't know.
Can I just thank everyone who's listening to the podcast right now? I know it's probably late/early everywhere.
Yeah.
Although Perry and Sydney is probably like afternoon or something.
Yeah.
Is it afternoon 2 weeks from now or something in Australia? So I don't know the time. But thanks for staying up late and hanging out with us, and you know, yeah, it's pretty late.
8:28 p.m. That's a good, nice, comfortable time of night.
Yeah.
Well done. But yeah, I agree. Thanks for coming out, listening. It's been a crazy season/show.
Mhm.
And I'm glad we got to actually get on here and give our actual initial reaction. We haven't really...
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Initial reaction. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
It is tough. I usually have more time to process my thoughts before trying to say stuff. But
yeah, totally.
I think I'll probably be more articulate when we do the actual podcast, but it definitely captures what it was like to watch the finale of a show that we've been talking about for 4 years.
Mhm.
So
yeah, I think well, you know, the next podcast will be interesting when we actually sort of go scene by scene and talk about everything. That'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of details there worth going over, and you know, there's a lot of other stuff I want to do before we close the book on this show. But yeah, it was, you know, I liked a lot of stuff about it. It wasn't all a disaster for me. It wasn't everything I ever could have hoped for, but there was a lot of good stuff, and you know, whatever. I'll take it.
Yeah. Like you have a choice. You're like one of Jacob's people. Like, oh, I'll take it. Yeah, you don't have a choice, buddy. I guess I'll make do with being on the island. Yeah, you don't have a choice. You guys are very welcome for us helping you get through your boring work days, because work is boring unless you have a podcast to listen to.
Yes.
I've been there. I think our record is the longest podcast was 21 and some hours.
Yeah.
21 and some minutes, something like that.
21 hours, yeah, about 36 minutes.
Yeah, so, you know, if we hit 22, we'll pass that. So I don't know. I was thinking the other day. A lot of our long podcasts is speculation about what they'll do, and so
I know.
That's moot at this point.
True.
So I think a lot of it will be, I think what will replace speculation about what they'll do next will be, stuff they missed, unanswered questions, stuff we wanted to get and didn't get, and,
right, and sort of looking at the series as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can hit 30 hours, I'll be fine. I'll be like, you know what, longest podcast ever, fine, I'm good.
Yeah. I think there's plenty of stuff to go over, but it's not going to be like our other finale podcasts.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
So here's a question on the chat. What's wrong with church? I don't think in general nothing's really wrong with church. In terms of the setting for their answer, I think it sort of more aligns it just to sort of like, a contemporary Christian view of what we're supposed to sort of think about these things versus if the same scenario was in some other building, or, what if it was a mosque, or, what if it was in something else. I just think the setting of a church brings connotations with it that, it makes us call it purgatory.
Right.
versus calling it limbo, or versus calling it something else.
I like your idea of maybe them getting on a plane or something. Like, I feel like they could have done the same basic idea. To me, it was just too heavy. Like, I'm okay with churches as locations. I just tying it in with a purgatory subplot. Just, I don't know.
Yeah,
it felt a little too much, a little too heavy in that realm. Not really what I wanted to watch, and I would have liked a bit more vagueness about where they were supposed to be going.
Mhm. Yeah, it becomes less vague when you have them in a church.
Yeah, exactly. There's not very many ways to take that.
Yeah.
And it's in fact, there's a movie, I don't want to spoil everything. There's a movie that ends exactly like this. And it's a movie that I really like, but I've always been frustrated by the ending. Because I just
Do I know what movie you're talking about?
I don't know if you do. I don't even know if you've seen it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm afraid to say what it is. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, yeah, then that means I can't probably just guess it.
Yeah. Well,
it's not something obvious.
Can you think of a movie that ends like this? If you can, then you probably know what I'm
By end like this, you mean people go to purgatory?
Not quite. I mean, people get up and...
Now it's a game. You got to give out hints, and then you can spoil everyone.
And by people, I might just mean one character or maybe two characters get up and sort of walk into the next life or whatever, some higher state or something.
No, I can't think of what you're talking about unless it's Dogma. Somebody said Dogma.
No, it's not Dogma.
Yeah, I remember there's God at the end. But...
Yeah, that stuff does happen at Dogma, but that is not the movie I was thinking of. It's a good guess, though. Oh, I'll give you that. No, something that, well, I wouldn't say that. I don't even know why I'm playing movie trivia now. I don't know where the segue there is.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about thinking about the end of Lost, and they're all sitting around and they're happy, and everything's about to flash white, and I don't know. Is this what Jack was supposed to do? This is the thing? What's the thing he's supposed to do?
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know.
All right, you're going to have to tell people what this movie is.
They really want to know?
Yeah, type it in the chat, and then that way, people who are listening won't be spoiled. And then if you're in the chat and you don't want to be spoiled, you can just not read it.
Oh, okay. But you're going to see
I don't know.
Are you sure? Should I to type it in?
Is it a movie that I'm like wanting to see? Is it a twist ending, or is it the kind of thing it doesn't matter that that's the ending?
It is a twist ending.
Oh.
It is. It's like, oh, that's what was going on.
What year is the movie from?
1990 or so.
Oh, so it's old.
It's fairly old. I'm narrowing it down, guys. Do I have to start naming actors?
Ghost?
Good guess. And in fact, this movie shares something with Ghost. I believe it has the same writer.
Oh, really?
Yes, I believe.
Well, that should be all the clues people need to go look it up.
Possibly not the same. Maybe it's the same director. It's got the same something.
Oh, is it Field of Dreams?
No.
Okay.
Field of Dreams.
Somebody said it takes place in Iowa, and I thought Iowa, corn, Field of Dreams.
No. Although I guess that is sort of like that, but that's not what I had in mind.
Yeah, no, that was pretty close track at least. Well, some mystery movie. This is more interesting than Lost, apparently.
Yeah, I teased you. I don't want to give you the answer. You're just going to be disappointed.
Yeah, you're going to tell me it's light in the cave, and you're going to tell me it's purgatory, and I won't like it.
No, it's not Poltergeist 3.
I'm still holding to my crackpot theory that the island is a spaceship with holographic technology.
You can hold on to that as much as you want.
Yeah, prove me wrong.
I really can. Why not? Sure it is.
Yeah. I think someone might have typed in the correct answer.
Oh, did they? What did they type?
You can read it.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. As soon as they said it, I'm thinking, yeah, that's the movie Justin's talking about.
That's the one. Good job. You win. Oh.
Yeah, it's like you can't. Yeah, I'd like to think the island is a spaceship, and the light is the power core, and it all has to do with the power source. Okay,
good. It's a spaceship island, and it came to Earth, and it put some light in people.
Mhm.
Or did it come first?
The island may have come first. There, maybe there was no there's no life before the island.
Mhm. Yeah.
Boom! Beat that. Go.
No. I'm not gonna beat that. It's all purgatory for me.
Yeah. Maybe the irony is the fans are in purgatory.
I'm trying to figure out.
And we need each other to collectively help ourselves move on from Lost.
I think we do.
I think that might be the answer.
I really do. One thing I'm going to start asking myself is, where were they going with this one?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that they brought up, and it's like, what were they thinking with that?
Mhm.
That
should be a whole segment on the finale podcast. Like,
yeah.
Where were they going to go with this?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff like that for whatever reason they changed their minds or dropped the plot or just, I don't know.
Actor grew too fast.
Oh, Walt. Wow. Yeah, no one's even talking about Walt. See, I guess that's why it would have been weird if Michael were there. But you're kind of right. They couldn't show Walt. If they were going to show Walt, they had to show him at the end.
Mhm.
Like if they tried to show him in the regular sort of part of Flash Sideways, it just would have been weird because he'd be like totally the wrong age. But they could have had him walk in at the end.
Yeah.
That would have worked. Why not? I mean, everybody there is dead. There's no reason they should look a particular age.
So I guess Walt never found out about Michael.
I guess not. Yeah, that story's really depressing.
Yeah.
Last I heard, he was on a boat near the island.
That is so not helpful.
It's really not.
You can't even take solace that he made it to the island or not. It's
No.
like, he was near the island.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was coming or going, but
yeah. And not thrown in the little tidbit, and that boat blew up.
yeah. Well, how long have we been recording? I've lost track.
Oh,
I don't have
it's
my
been
counter here.
2 hours and 48 minutes. That's
2
pretty
hours and
long
48
for
minutes
initial reaction.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's past initial at this point.
It is. I've moved on into the secondary phase.
Yeah, denial.
Yes, denial. I can't wait for next
Which
week.
Which is not just a river on the island.
Yes, that too.
That's supposed to be an Egypt joke.
Of course.
Somehow. All right. Yeah, initial reaction looked in the episode. Would it happen any other way on the Lost Lowdown?
Of course not.
That's fitting. That's really fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have our pilot commentary podcast we did yesterday. Was probably a little bit longer than the actual pilot itself.
Yes.
A little time in between recording.
Yeah, we did a little talking at the beginning and at the end, because it was sort of watching the pilot is just, I don't know. It's crazy that we came from there to here.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so not about purgatory at that point. Seemingly.
Yeah, I have to say I was much more anxious to rewatch the entire series before I saw the finale.
Yeah.
I still rewatch it. I know I'll be invested again, but I think it'll just the cap of how much I would have put back into it. I think is a little bit lower now that I know the ultimate answer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some introspection or something. Figure out what it all means.
What does it all mean? I think it's the light in all of us that's really important, and it's how we use the light.
I really wish
to either guide the way, to prosperity, or I'm going to stop now. Yeah. Okay, guess 55. You haven't seen the finale yet? Looks like they haven't seen it yet. I'm jealous.
Wow, yeah.
Wow, don't watch it. Savor it forever.
Save yourself. It's not too late.
Wait. Why are you here? There's so many spoilers around. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. How are you not worried about
of you right now?
How are you not worried about spoilers? Yikes.
I was afraid to read
anything
until I saw the episode.
Oh, no. I feel bad.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I hope you don't get spoiled. I mind being spoiled.
Yeah, wow.
But,
yeah, so now what are we going to do? The spoiler-free discussion?
Wait. Well, the podcast will be up. Go watch the finale. Go watch it. Don't listen to us. Namaste. Thanks for joining.
Yes. Good luck. Godspeed.
Go enjoy the finale. Well, now that it's over, what do you do? I
don't know.
I feel like there should be some sort of group, some sort of weekly meeting Lost fans can attend.
Yeah. There's a lot of issues I feel like we need to work out. Just unresolved issues.
Yeah. Unresolved issues and unanswered questions.
Yeah. So many of those.
So Perry says, do I really think the show was purgatory? It's almost like you're asking me if I believe what answer they gave us. I mean, a purgatory, not in any sort of traditional sense, just sort of purgatory for lack of a better word, I think. That's what they told us. That's what Christian said. I mean, if you believe what Christian said and the feeling that they all had, they had already died, and that they were moving on to a new place. Yeah, I know. Let's cry. Then yeah, I think it was purgatory.
But in terms of seemingly what he's saying, like the show as a whole, like yeah.
Show as a whole. I mean, I think that's this goes back to sort of my main issue with the finale is I don't know how to reconcile what happens on the island with the time what am I saying? Ooh, it's getting late. The Flash Sideways timeline. The whole show wasn't about purgatory, but the ultimate answer was, that where we're left is in purgatory. And I want to believe there's some connection or main idea we can glean from their adventures on the island that directly correlate to that. But I think that's sort of nebulous. Yeah,
it looks to me like the show is not purgatory itself, but it's the story of why they meet up in purgatory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what is real from the moment Jack opened his eye and closed his eye? Everything?
What?
Somebody asked what, the central question they have. The problem is, Jets 54 says, my problem is what was real, if anything, from the moment Jack's eye opened till it closed. Because that's the beginning of the show, his eye opening, and the end of the show, his eye closing.
Yeah, I'm going with.
So what was real? Everything.
Was what Perry's saying. Yeah, I think it was all real.
Yeah.
The only thing that wasn't quote unquote real was the Flash Sideways stuff.
Mhm. That was real in a different way.
Right.
Much like being trapped in a different way, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to even say what I'm talking about as far as real, but yeah, if I had to come down and call something real, I'd say the events of the show are real for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Except for that stuff. So yeah, so I think that there really was an island there, and all that stuff we saw really happened. It's not some like antecedent, series of purgatories.
Mhm.
Where they have, they do the on-island purgatory, and then they meet up in the Flash Sideways purgatory so they can move on to some other purgatory or something. I don't think that's what's going on.
Because that would be crazy.
That would be really crazy.
One purgatory is enough.
It really is. Even though the island is a purgatory, sort of, seemingly.
Mm-hmm. But
that seems to be a separate issue. That's really going to bother me. I'm not happy with that part. This seems so arbitrary to me.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael, you don't get to move on. Why? I don't understand.
The answer should have to do with the Flash Sideways. That's what the answer should be. Like, he's invested in the Lost. He's not getting killed because they need to finish doing something so that in the long run everyone can move on. Like, that's the kind of thing I would expect to be true. It doesn't really play out that way.
Yeah.
The island wasn't done with him yet, but the island was never done or started with anybody.
Yeah. The island was just a metaphor.
Mhm. For an island. No, I mean, when people said that, I really think they were it was something like fate or destiny or, some sense of larger purpose, but I'm not really buying that I mean,
I guess we did see stuff. I'm going to have to pick that apart. We did see stuff that it seemed like the island was doing, but maybe that was just Jacob doing that stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of events.
One or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like the island had a will, but it really didn't. It was just, partly people's interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah, people just started personifying the island. But, I mean, the island did have these large personalities on it.
Mhm.
And, yeah, I guess they just took that to be some kind of thing, but it doesn't look to me like the island had a consciousness. I feel like if we were ever going to see that, we should have saw it when they went into the light cave.
Yeah. Perry says Juliet saying stuff from when she was dead. Thoughts? So, yeah, I think that was supposed to be, in the LAX in the season 6 premiere. Juliet is unconscious, loses consciousness at the bottom of the Swan station, and then she sort of regains consciousness, and she's muttering to James about having coffee and going Dutch. And I think, and then she tells him to kiss her, and then she kisses him. He kisses her, they kiss each other, and then she sort of gets a stronger feeling of the flash sideways, and then that's when she says it works. So I think she was just sort of like Desmond or something, or like, sort of other people, just connecting to the flash sideways world. Notice I'm not calling it purgatory. And
I didn't. Yeah, but I think she was wrong, right? Like, it didn't really work.
What they were trying to do did not work. Something else worked.
Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't even know what it is, right? I mean,
She saw them in a world where they weren't on the island, and she thought that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, like she basically misinterpreted purgatory.
Which is the same way people misinterpreted the island. So
yeah.
there's your symmetry.
Yeah. Yeah, because if it's like, it worked, we're dead, like that's not working.
Mm-mm.
Because if you
no,
wanted to die,
I don't think she realized they were dead. See, that's the thing. Most of the people who got glimpses of the other side I don't think any of them knew that they had any sense of death until towards the end, when it got stronger. When they had their big moments where they saw a whole bunch of flashes or something. I think in the beginning they were intrigued by it. They had these feelings that were strong, or these notions of, I already love you and all this stuff. But
yeah,
it wasn't towards the end that anybody was sort of really like, oh, okay, I really get it now.
Yeah.
So I think Juliet and Sawyer by the end of this episode, I think they get it when they meet at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty soon after that.
So Perry's reminding me that she was referring to the vending machine was the thing that worked.
Oh yeah. They definitely used that same line to have her talk about the vending machine.
Yeah. So maybe that just misled us.
Mhm.
It's just thinking she was saying, oh, the thing worked, but really she was just talking about this purgatorial vending machine.
Well, I mean, sure, if you want to play a dicey game, but why would she say, James, I got something very important to tell you, and it's that the vending machine works. I don't really think, I think she had to have been, in that sense, telling him it worked. It's just them using the same lines over again, for symmetry. I think I have to believe she's saying she thinks it worked, hitting Jughead worked, exploding Jughead worked, and then she just gets to use the same lines over again with the vending machine.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So we just got a whole bunch of people come join us. Thanks for joining us, guys. We are a couple hours into our initial reaction.
Yeah.
I hope we'll stop soon. Otherwise, we'll just go for 30 hours.
Yeah, I had in mind an initial reaction. It's kind of gone beyond that now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is like a whole podcast for a lot of podcasts out there.
This is it's a whole podcast for us almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go scene by scene right now. Justin, whip it up. Whip it out. Let's do it. Scene by scene. Go. We'll just start a finale podcast right now.
Okay. So, oh wow, I wish I could do that. I didn't.
Oh, apparently Los Mythos went for 5 hours. And now there's a challenge.
Ooh, I don't know if we can beat that.
Yeah. I'm okay with not beating it. I'm tired.
I think we've beaten that before.
Yeah.
And this is not the end of our finale.
This is definitely not our finale podcast. This is just the beginning of it. You know, we probably should say some things to say, but there'll be things to discuss. Rose and Bernard. It was nice seeing them. They had a scene.
They were there.
We hit the long ball. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Las Vegas hit the long ball.
I don't like that phrase. You guys hit the long ball.
It sounds like something cool to do.
I don't know if it does.
I think it's better than hitting the short ball. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I guess.
Chicks dig the long ball. Well,
it must be one or the other.
Oh man, yeah, Rose and Bernard hanging out. That was yeah. We got to see Vincent in the end.
It was sort of like, yeah, we did.
And can I just say, everybody? Can I just say, Vincent hanging out with Jack when as Jack dies? I mean, a cat wouldn't have done that. Say what you will about Vincent. He was weird and strange throughout the show, but at the very end, he's like, Jack, I'm gonna hang out here and accompany you while you die. Like that's good doggy.
Yeah.
And it just makes me think, Christian is the one who told, Smokey / Christian is the one who told Vincent to go see Jack in the first place. So, I almost want to believe somehow Christian told Vincent, here at the last scene to go comfort Jack somehow.
Yeah.
Vincent was hungry. He was waiting for Jack to check out. Have a little nibble on Jack's corpse.
Wow, that's the dark lost. Yeah, that's it's true. The Mikhail's cat Nadia was nowhere to be found.
No, I mean, I thought it ended well, Jack seeing his friends escape. I think it's a little weird that Hurley and Ben and Desmond sort of don't know what happened to Jack. I mean, are they ever going to find his body out here? By the decay of the clothes, I'd say it's Jack Shepherd.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Vincent could lead them out here,
Yeah. No, I think, I assume they'll find him. Maybe they'll throw him in the caves. I don't know what they're doing.
All the skeletons go in the cave. They should go bury him with the gravesite.
Yeah, that's probably better. Than with the smoke monster and his mom.
So just like, what happens when all the other lost Frank, Sawyer, Kate, Claire, and Miles were on the Ajira flight, right?
And Richard.
So they just go back to, I guess they're going to go land in Guam or Fiji or someplace relatively close.
Better be.
And they just go back to their lives, or some of them didn't have lives to go back to. Richard, hasn't been off the island in a while. Yeah. He's going to be surprised by a lot of things.
Actually, that's not true. He has been off the island because...
Oh, that's right. What am I saying? He's been off most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So he won't be very surprised, but he will be getting old, apparently.
Mhm. And now he wants to live. It reminds me when Jacob was plunging him in the water. It's like
Yeah.
he always wants what he can't have or something. Like,
yeah.
oh, I didn't know I wanted this.
Yeah. It is weird to me that Smokey just kind of knocked him off screen. You go sit over there.
Yeah, I wonder if he was trying to kill him.
Me too. It just seems weak. Like, every time Smokey just doesn't kill someone, it's like, why not? He easily could have.
Yeah. So what about Kate and Sawyer? I mean, I would think they would, they would shack up, but, she loves Jack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he can't remember her face.
He's with Juliet Purgatory.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's a Juliet guy, but I just wonder in that timeline, are they going to hang out or? You know?
I guess. Yeah, I could imagine them hanging out. I guess.
Yikes!
But it won't be as important as when they hung out on the island.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm all out of initial reaction.
How much can you initially react?
Yeah, now I want to initially go to sleep.
I really don't want to go to sleep right now because it's really getting sunny outside.
Because you're afraid you might wake up in purgatory?
Yes. Yes. Oh God.
Hey, just rest assured you're already there. I think that's comforting in some way. It's like, yeah, whatever happens after you die, it sort of already has happened because you're gonna die. So.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's comforting. Also kind of depressing.
Comfort, depression, tomato.
Indeed, yeah.
The island is light. Let's just call the whole thing off.
Please.
Well, all right, guys. Unless there's any last bits you want us to discuss, we're going to probably sign off and prepare, sort of digest the episode and, we'll sleep first and then digest the episode and watch it again and digest some more. And we're planning to start our finale podcast on Tuesday. So hopefully we'll be done, whenever we're done. We'll definitely keep you guys updated on the forum, TLLD.net, or catch us on the website, thelostlowdown.com. And, we'll let you know. We'll keep you up to date as far as the progression for the finale podcast.
Yes.
So Guest 56 says we might have been the only critical podcast tonight.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
No one was critical? Is that? Sorry. I didn't mean to let my contempt show. Wow, I'm impressed.
I like that Lost Flashback said awesome shoe because that's the whole talk show thing.
You got the gimmick. Well
you
done.
Got it. Yeah, there it is. You should get extra points for doing that.
Totally. When I finished it, I immediately thought everybody's going to be disappointed with this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it was me. I was disappointed.
I don't think you're the only one. I think, yeah. It's...
Not deeply. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Deeply. I mean, I could imagine crappier finales for a show. I don't know. The purgatory thing.
I think the biggest disappointment is just the fact that sort of the last idea of what was the main point was something people thought was people's initial thought.
Yeah.
in season 1. I think that's a little unsafe for a show that went, like I said before, so far beyond people's expectations, for it to come full circle back into the realm of people's initial idea of, gut reaction to what this might be. It's like that's a little frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It is. I feel like a theory that you could formulate in season 1 just shouldn't be true.
Mhm.
At least not that close to true, at least.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they went with that. It's like, I don't know. I think they did probably have planned to go with something like that from early on.
Wait a minute. Are we already dead? Are we all in purgatory, and we just need to realize it, and then we'll go through the white light, and we'll see the real Lost finale? Wait a minute. I'm getting suspicious here.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to stay here in purgatory.
You should have a kid while you're at it. It won't be real.
Yeah, why not? The kids don't matter in this reality.
Mm-hmm. Just feed him some pizza. He'll love you forever.
That's it. That's all it takes. Now we understand. He wasn't really a kid. He was something else.
Yeah, he was some sort of construct of Jack's daddy issues.
Yeah. And Juliet mothered this thing. It's just so weird.
Mhm.
Hey, son, you're not real. I had your fake ass in my womb.
Yeah. Get that fake baby out of that womb. Yeah, you don't want that. I love how Claire gave birth to Aaron before Charlie could even get back with the towels and water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was fast.
He was like,
baby.
I was gone for 2 minutes. You had this baby that fast?
Yeah, no, really. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, like on the island, he had to run a long way away.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more reasonable. But this is like the next room or something.
And I guess Charlie never got to sort of either know Charlie got to know that Desmond had a son named Charlie. Because she didn't figure that out.
That's right. Yeah. Oh God. I kept the other thing that was bugging me the whole time. I was like, okay, come on, Claire, let's take your baby and get on a helicopter and fly out of here.
Mhm.
Shit never happened.
No.
No one even commented on it. Then I thought Charlie would be like, why didn't Claire get on the helicopter? Someone lied to me.
Somebody lied to me. I guess all of that Flash's stuff was just possible realities he was seeing, and that's that.
Okay.
He was seeing possible realities, and some of them he avoided, and they were going to come true, and he prevented them, and some of them weren't close to being true.
Yeah.
Weren't close to them interacting with or whatever.
Right.
Experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
Wow. Lost.
Okay, gang. Well, I guess that's it for it. Whatever happened, happened. That's really sort of the last thing we can say about it. Take some comfort in that. Whatever happened, happened because they had to live together or die alone. That's why they call it. They call it a flash sideways. That's how purgatory works.
Indeed.
So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for hanging in there, especially after the big Lost block of fun extravaganza / what the hell did we just see?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't regret spending the last 4 years of my life on this. So I think that says something.
Good. Yeah, no, I don't either. It wasn't nearly that bad.
Yeah. But maybe in hindsight, we should have had shorter podcasts.
You might have a point there.
Maybe we should have spent a little less time on the big theories and no, we kid.
It
at
was
least
all,
while
it
we're
was all
recording.
progress.
Yeah, it only ends once, and then you shoot yourself.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I don't know. It was fun to talk about all that stuff, as little as it mattered.
Yeah. It's been great. The best part of Lost, like the Losties themselves, the best part I think is the people and the connections and the going through this journey with the fans and everyone sort of investing in this enterprise to boldly go where no one had gone before to purgatory. And
yeah. That whole no one has gone before is a little bit of hyperbole there. But that's all right. It was hyperbole on Star Trek as well.
Mhm. Q had already been there plenty of times.
Yeah,
wherever they went.
And everywhere they went, there were people there. So we're like, kind of weird.
Yeah, it's that that's been the fun part is the Lost community and the fans, and I think that's the best part of Lost is the continuing story. Seeing the story unfold, and that's the part that's over now. But I think there's a lot left to talk about. Looking back and seeing how everyone got to where they end up, and that'll be interesting.
No, I'll enjoy sort of diving in deep one final time.
Mhm.
Go through all the details of this episode and talk about all the other shit.
We're being told to end the podcast before we say something we regret.
Oh no! Are we hitting that point?
Might happen. It might happen. I don't know. What can I say that I regret right now? Yeah, we could, in an alternate reality, Claude and Justin hated this so much that we're renouncing everything Lost. I can maybe see that.
I'm going to delete the entire Lost Lowdown collection now.
Yes. We should take it down from the interweb so no one can listen to it.
We don't want to corrupt other people out there into going down the path that we went down. It's the wrong one.
We should delete all our old podcasts and make a new one called It's All About Purgatory.
Yes. That will get their expectations in the right place.
47 gigabytes of podcasts. Yikes. That's a lot.
Where's that coming from?
That's coming from somebody. I forgot where. I don't see it anymore. I don't know. Okay. We have to get the tally for the total podcast length and the total, size of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a lot.
It's like long balls.
God, we spent so long this season talking about purgatory. Just saying, we did.
Yeah, we did. Every time we do a drinking game, every time you say purgatory, take a drink and pretend you didn't just say purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll stop stalling it in the podcast.
Yeah. No, it's best for all of us.
People need to go to work.
Yes. Everyone has lives, and I will probably have to sleep soon. So, all right. Yeah. I mean, it was fun to do this little live thing, and we'll be doing our real podcast soon. So.
Yep.
look out for that.
Thanks and namaste, and we'll see you in purgatory.
Namaste and good luck.